simple. I don't want to hear anything about I don't believe in vampires. Because I don't fucking believe in vampires. What I believe in my own two eyes, and what I saw is fucking vampires. Now, do we all agree that what we are dealing with is vampires?
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing it. Here we go. Where's my face? Where's my face? Where'd my face go? I don't have a face. Who am I? Who even am I right now? Oh my god, I am not with it today, guys. One moment, please. Nope, that's not what I want. Where's my camera? There it is. Hey guys, hello. Salutations. Greetings. Tonight, this Friday the 22nd, the 22nd of December we're going to be playing some Fate of the Exocortex. Fate of the Exocortex is an awesome tabletop RPG run by one Glasswalker Mars. Very good guy. One of my favorites, and probably one of the coolest GMs I've ever had the privilege of playing under. So we're just going to get things rolling today. There's not going to be a big, long intro from me. Let's just make this happen. So here we go. Thank you all for being here. Welcome to the show. Y'all know who I am. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Let's make it happen. Let's see if I can do this right. Maybe? Nope, that's not it. All right. Oh, man. Let's do this thing. One moment, please, while I unmute people.
This time, and...
All right, guys, here we go. Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
I do believe that flattery will get me XP, sir.
It might.
Yep. See, I know
talking
you.
a big game for chat.
I know you. Anyway, here we go. Let's make it happen. Go for it, James.
All right. Hey, everybody. My name is James Mercer, and I will be running Fate of the Exocortex tonight. It's a Fate Accelerated tabletop role-playing game. We're using Roll20 to run it, and Rage has agreed to let us stream the game on his channel, and that's been a lot of fun so far.
Yep.
Fate is a game of aspects, and I was given a little bit of thought to one of the aspects of Fate that I enjoy, but I'm not always really good at, and that is compels. Every character in this game has a trouble, and that is a thing about them that makes life more complicated for them. And the way the game is supposed to run is that the game master or the game runner or each of the players are supposed to sort of suggest compels for things to happen to the other characters. Compels are things that make the character's life a little bit more difficult, a little bit more complicated, and hopefully therefore more fun for the players, and earns them a fate point, which is a bit of sort of meta currency that they can use to influence the story. And I was thinking maybe we could train chat to suggest compels to help us out.
That's a good idea. It depends on how many people are here, though.
That's fair.
We'll have to see how things go.
Yep, absolutely. I'm going to throw my little primer in there.
Ooh.
And we will start by reviewing the players and their trouble, and I'll ask each of them a question about their character. Who would like to go first?
I'll go.
All right, J5.
Hi.
Your trouble is it can't rain all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about J5 and why that's his trouble.
J5's trouble is it can't rain all the time because he watched The Crow a lot as a young lad, and also he's been through a lot of things in his life, and sort of it can't rain all the time is one of the things he clings to. You know, it's going to stop raining eventually, and that's sort of what gets him through the day.
So the reality of that aspect being your trouble is you cling to this idea, but it always seems to get worse. It does always seem to rain all the time.
Yep.
So potential for compels for J5 would be a situation that is a little bit bad, gets much worse. Something random happens and things just get worse in that moment.
Right.
Which really opens the door to a lot of possibilities. Cool. What is something from J5's past that a crime that J5 committed that he left some trace of himself behind on? Right now, J5's life is under a lot of scrutiny from a lot of corners. So what's one lingering thing from your past that might come up to get you in trouble?
We've already come across this once. I pulled a gun on a cop. That cop was abusing his wife.
Yeah.
And I happened to really like Linda, the HR lady, and I was having none of that. So I pulled a gun on him, and I told him to cut the shit.
Nice. All right. Cool. Who's next?
Definitely Sebastian.
Go Bastion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forget. Hang on, let me find it.
Oh, it's okay. I got your trouble. Your trouble is
Thank you.
good guy in a... oh, I'm in the wrong window. A good guy in a bad world.
Yeah, Sebastian's one of those idealistic fools who's trying to do good while making as few waves as possible. His definition of good is pretty, I won't say rigid, but he has a very strong gut sense of what is right and wrong. And he tries to help people he thinks need it. And it doesn't matter what time you were born, in the future or the past, or how many fantasy novels you read, the world doesn't help people like that. But he's decided that's all he's good at, and he gets a warm, fuzzy feeling in his heart when he helps somebody, and it works out for the best in the end. And so that's what he's going to keep doing until the luck runs out.
Fantastic. So going into Sebastian's past, who is someone that Sebastian has helped that he regretted helping? Either the situation went bad or the person ended up not being worthy. What's a situation like that?
Well, Well, there's a man down south of the sprawl where they are who convinced Sebastian earlier on in his career, when he wasn't quite so bald, that it would be a good idea to steal the last two breeding pairs of Egyptian alligators left in the world, because they were endangered and they were going to be cut up or sold, or something bad was going to happen to them.
Okay.
And so he's an idealist, and well, I don't want that to happen. I'll help you. And so off they do, and the heist was successful, and he successfully helped the guy get a new name and a job, and they got those breeding pair of critters away. And the guy who did it wasn't the best of men in the first place. He had his own reasons for doing it. And Sebastian's been down a couple of times to make sure those animals are still alive. And they are, and by all intents and purposes, it seems like they're all just on the down low. But looking into the man's past, he had done some things that were questionable. And those are just the things that showed up on his file. So maybe they did help these alligators. Crocodiles, he gets confused. Or maybe it wasn't worth the price of helping this man make a new life for himself. Does that make sense?
Sure. Who had the Egyptian alligators before you stole them?
Who did?
Was it a corporation? Was it a private individual?
Private individual.
Someone with alligator money.
Someone with alligator money, yeah. He had his own private zoo. He was one of those collector types, like, oh, I have all the money in the world, and these are the last two, and I'm going to buy them.
Gotcha.
Though, to be fair, the critters that this man collected in his own private zoo, very well taken care of, lived long, happy lives by all accounts. So, occasionally he beats himself up. It's a tricky situation, stealing giant reptiles.
Gotcha. So you took them potentially from a good home with the intention of trying to help them, put them in a questionable home, and aren't sure that was the best call.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. But I tell you what, there's no manual for that shit.
That's true. All right, cool. And how about Jax? You want to go next?
Sure.
Okay. Tell us just a little bit about Jax.
All right. So Jax used to be a corporate PR person working for, I can't remember the name of the place off the top of my head. Frigliandri. And did a lot of the, sort of polished, nice little neat stories, little touchy-feely about what good things the companies are working for. But the problem with working on those stories is just how polished they are and how set up they are and how fake they are. And particularly with her penchant for curiosity, and once you start really poking into stuff, it's not so pretty on the surface. So I've got a bit of a but be enervoned about that. And that's not the kind of thing that, even the big media companies are very particular in what they're actually going to publish. So even if you've got a juicy story, it really depends, all corporate politics as to whether or not that's actually going to get on the air with any real news story or news channel. So where else do you go but on, pirated airwaves? Started out just, publishing from like whatever the future equivalent of like a ham radio is, back of someone's van, pirating the signal man, all of that. And it's a little more polished than that now, but, still kind of just a loose group of people, some who are running the actual channel and making sure that everything to be broadcast is working and not shut down and not meeting any unfortunate accidents. And then some other, content creators and probably like someone that occasionally works with Jax to, help with post-production kind of stuff and
awesome
B-roll footage, that sort of thing.
Okay. Are they on a payroll or are they volunteers?
It's probably pretty pay by the job. I wouldn't say anyone's making enough to be salaried on this, but
okay.
Share the wealth when you have it.
And what do you call your your brand or your channel or whatever?
You're asking me names. We're gonna have to come back to that one.
Okay. Sounds good. So your trouble is curiosity killed the cat. So good compels for you would be a situation where leaving well enough alone would be the wise choice, and we would compel you to do the opposite. Or in the past, your curiosity could have gotten you into trouble, and the results of that trouble are catching up with you today. So those are the sorts of compels we'd be looking for that trouble. All right, Lee, tell us about you.
Street artist and rogue, VR designer. I am tired.
No problem.
She used to work for a big corporation designing custom visual fields for people, usually the very rich and well-to-do. And in fact, she was so good at it that they gave her implants in her fingers so she could be up close and personal with clients rather than in a sterile atmosphere. But that was bullshit, so she left. And now does a lot of subversive street art, both in AR and in reality.
Cool. Your trouble is, how can I resist? So I can see that as being sort of having the last word, having trouble saying no to opportunities to express your art, or past incidences of your art kind of catching up with you, or responses to your art catching up to you today. Situations kind of like that. Does that match with what you think?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So what is the message you wish that people would take from Lee's work? Does Lee have an overarching message? So far, it's mostly been about just trying to get a response and maybe opening eyes towards like the corporate culture a little bit.
Lee's entire deal is about reminding them about their own humanity. So yeah, it's about evoking any kind of emotion. So it ranges in whatever she's feeling that day, but it's about making people feel and not just be caught up in their own closeted AR. Nice.
Which is an uphill battle in the cyberpunk world.
That's awesome.
Cool. All right, so those are the troubles. As I was kind of saying in the beginning, if chat has any ideas about compels based on those troubles, go ahead and throw them in there. I'm going to try to keep an eye on chat, but multitasking isn't my best thing. So if Rage, you notice that someone puts a good one out there, feel free to stop me and call it to my attention.
Roger. And just to quickly go over it for people that didn't necessarily hear it, a compel is basically like something for the character to either deal with or spend a fate point not to deal with. So it's basically a way for the DM to cause trouble for the character based on that character's past experiences.
And since the whole point here is to get into as much trouble as possible and then see if we can get out of it, the more of that we have, the more fun we're going to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Okay. So we are going to pick up with our characters where we left off, a little bit after where we left off last time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So, yeah, as we were wrapping up last time, you guys had, or you folks had kind of, were between jobs, and then you had run into some kind of troubling situations that you sort of worked through. And you had set up the next job, which was to infiltrate Leandri Corporation corporate offices. In this world, it's a cyberpunk world, kind of a dystopian future. We're set in the Boss Wash Metroplex, which is a superstructure that covers what would be like today from like Washington, D.C. Up through Boston. And that's all one huge like enclosed city that's packed with people. The future is kind of a grim future. The world is all chrome, mirrors, wires, and neon. So there's sort of that Blade Runner meets Shadowrun sort of aesthetic in the world.
I love it.
Reality is augmented, disposable, and subjective. So like the feel of the place is that there's this really gritty sort of reality, and there's layers and layers of technology kind of painted over it to make it look flashy and fancy and vibrant. But all that is really just kind of skin deep. Underneath it, we have disposable people, disposable businesses, and disposable buildings, and this sort of developing world culture of just trashing things you don't need anymore and moving on. There's this idea that the world is a constant grind to survive. So the corporations are constantly grinding the people down, using the people to fuel their own machinations, and that just getting by, just staying even in this world, not enough. Eventually, you're going to get worn down to nothing. This is a game where the corporations are really in control. The government is a secondary entity to all the corporations. The corporations are really the ones that call the shots. And the Boss Wash Metroplex is occupied by a number of powerful corporations, and sort of the municipal and state government is really secondary to that. And that control of the corporations extends to every aspect of daily life. Everyone in this setting has some degree of cybernetic implants, even if it's just sort of ocular implants that allows them to see the augmented reality around them. If you're a poor person and you can't really afford the fancy optics or the fancy implants, then you really have no control over the augmented reality that you see. So you're constantly seeing advertisements all the time. You're constantly seeing the world that the corporation wants to paint for you. And either you kind of become like a shadow person where you hack your own cybernetics to avoid that, or you get rich enough that you can afford the better cybernetics and you get some discretion over what world you see. It's definitely a world where the richest people almost live next to each other, next to everyone else, but see their own reality around it. The last part of the world is that the stars are beyond our reach. Earth has become overpopulated and glutted, and the prevailing feeling is that the lifespan of Earth is very limited now, so that reality's disposable thing extends even to the planet. But there's this feeling as well that you're trapped here. The faster than light travel has not been developed. The rich people are moving into sort of orbital facilities and habitats slowly over time, and are trying to expand throughout the solar system. But that rate of expansion, or that expansion, seems reserved for the richest and the most powerful at this point, while the sort of common normal folk are kind of left to die. Our players are a group of those shadow operatives who are brought together by another operative named Sigma. Sigma brought them all together, facilitated outfitting them with state-of-the-art cybernetics that allows them to interact with each other and sort of share each other's thoughts and experiences, and then died in an operation that went bad. The PCs of the players have been kind of rebuilding since that going bad, and part of that is trying to bring Sigma back to life, because they have her Exocortex, which is a computer that sits with the brain and interfaces with the brain. And they're pretty close to succeeding. They've gotten a prosthetic body, they've gotten the Exocortex in a workable order. The last thing that they need is a cloned brain of some kind to implant the Exocortex into, and then implant that into the body and try to sort of upload the personality of Sigma into that. So the job that they planned, I called the brain job, where they're going after the Leandri Corporation, which is a big biotechnology firm. They are trying to infiltrate the offices of one of the big corporate officers or executives, Gianni Averson. And the plan was to have a prepared hacking device to gain access and plant the hacking device in her office if possible. Did I miss anything?
Sounds like exactly where we were.
Awesome.
I seem to recall hating my part in this, whatever it was. Maybe I blacked out.
Nope, that sounds accurate.
Yeah, you hated it. I believe your part was being the guy that has to go in. and do all the talking, Mr. Thousand Faces.
Yeah.
1,000 faces, not 1,000 tongues.
You'll be fine. You have fate points.
Play a thief next. It's all right. Let's go.
Oh,
Nice.
I need to fix that, by the way.
Yep.
Back
So
up to 3.
if any of you were under 3 fate points, you should reset yourself to 3, or if your refresh is 4, you reset yourself to 4. Then we'll go from there. So we're going to cut right to the action. The Leandri Corporation offices are the middle, like 20 to 30, 25 floors of a mega skyscraper that is several city blocks around. It extends from the ground all the way up to the roof of the superstructure, with no roof access at all. You're on floor 31, and you've gotten past the first couple layers of security, and you're in some of the employee office areas. Sebastian Chrome is on the scene. He had a prepared identity from the past. He doesn't really remember preparing the identity. This was before the mind break, but you have it pretty prepared. It came with some access codes, and now you are standing in the corporate office area.
What's my name?
I don't know. What do you want it to be? I love looking around the room. I am beer bottle dice.
You're exactly right. Yes.
Beer Bottle Dice Cat.
No, shut up. His name is Benjamin Hoff.
All right, the Hoff. Cool. So
He's a true
the area-
survivor.
yes, the area you're in now. You sort of are coming out of an elevator lift onto this office floor, and the building itself is huge. And when you walk in, you have this weird sort of almost claustrophobic feeling because the roofs are kind of low. There's fluorescent lighting everywhere, and from where you're standing, the whole floor, reaching out in every direction, kind of looks like a maze. There's like clusters of cubicle farms all over the place in these groups. And there's like a central office surrounded by cubicles, and you get the impression it's like. It almost feels like cells. Like that's the nucleus of a cell, and there's a bunch of cubicles around it for doing the actual work, and those offices are the nucleus. And then in the very center of the entire floor is a big suite of offices with full walls and everything that you think must be the corporate offices of Jenny Avison.
Oh my god.
You have passed a few security checkpoints. There are. Do you think you went after hours, or do you think you went during the workday?
During the workday.
Okay.
There's
So
a
there's a bunch
billion
of-
more people, and nobody cares.
Absolutely. So there's people everywhere. They're busily walking around. Most of them are dressed in really cheap suits. Many of them have their ARs turned up to fully opaque, so they can't see anything except for the work in front of them and like the outlines of the walls and stuff, so they don't walk into them. But none of them are really even noticing you.
Yeah.
There are security guards on the floor walking around. In fact, you can see a group of them kind of winding their way, probably a group of like 6 or 7 of them, winding their way towards that central knot of offices in the middle. And there's a couple other security guards standing by those offices. And some of the people with the ARs up are glancing in that direction and trying to kind of give it a wide berth. What's your approach going to be, sir?
Okay, let me just get this straight. So I'm here to implant a hacking bug
Yes.
in this lady's office.
Yep.
And then you lot who are, I don't know, at a spa or something, are gonna go ahead and hack the mainframe. And oh my god! All right,
Right.
awesome.
At
Yes, I
a
got this.
spa, dude? Come on.
By comparison,
So just to remind everyone, the way we're kind of doing these missions is you guys did legwork. You were prepared for this mission. You have some idea of what you're doing. And so little problems that are predictable, you probably have a solution for. And you can just kind of tell me what those are as they come up. Where is the rest of the team? Sebastian Chrome's deep in enemy territory. Where are the rest of you?
I'm going to be in a van down by the river.
awesome. That's where you'll end up.
No, I think the plan for us is to be there like a block away or something, just in case he has to run really fast. Really, really fast.
Saren, I can't hear you.
Helps if I'm not muted. I'm going to try to arrange to have like lunch with an old coworker. If we can pull that off to be like coffee in the cafeteria or something, that's great.
Absolutely. Are you looking for a cafeteria, like probably on this floor?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you have a coworker in mind specifically, or just a generic one that you met along the way?
One that I'm not super close to, actually, like more a generic one, just in case this goes to shit.
That sounds good. What's their name?
Their name is, I look around at all of the things in my office. We're going to say, Margaret.
Margaret sounds good to me. Okay. So you and Margaret are in the sort of cafeteria area off to the side, but on this floor. So you're kind of aware. She is chatting with you about whatever, but she's also kind of looking around. Like you can kind of tell that she's a little bit distracted by something, but she's kind of trying not to pay too much attention to it. So it keeps like coming back to you and then drifting off and coming back to you. Where are you, Lee?
I'm in the van.
You're in the van?
Yeah.
What is my plan?
She's my UI buddy.
Awesome. All right. So we got 2 of you in the van and 2 of you on the floor. Very good. All right. Who wants the initiative? Who wants to act first?
Oh, guys,
I'm still thinking.
I just realized we developed a pattern for our crimes.
Ooh,
Like a real criminal group.
Yeah.
We've grown up.
Oh, that's awful. We're bad people. It's great though.
we're good at being bad.
Let's go be bad guys.
Yeah, I don't think you guys are bad. I think
both.
you misunderstood.
We're
All right.
only stealing a rain. I mean, come on. We could be doing way worse than that.
Cool. All right. So, we're here. Who wants to do something?
Christ almighty. Well, I guess it depends on my dumbass going first. All right. Benjamin Hoff is dressed... We're going to pull one out of Roger Wilco here. He's dressed sort of like a handyman. One of those guys who's invisible, like in a sea of invisible people. He's got one of the jumpsuits. It's faded around the knees and the elbows. He's still bald. So the neon reflects off of that pretty easily. But other than that, he's a little... He doesn't really shift too much from the way he looks, except for his face. And his face is more tired than Sebastian's. There's just a little bit of maybe too much caffeine circles under his eyes. His hands are rough, but not too rough. And it looks like maybe the blotches around the nose, like he had a drinking problem at one point, but he's clearing himself up. And other than that, he's walking slowly through. He has a sheaf of papers in one hand, which are full of documents concerning the reflective fluorescent lights overhead and how if you replaced them with aluminum inserts, you could use half the lights for just the same amount of illumination and save money over the next 15 years. So occasionally he'll stop up and look at the lights, make a little note. If anybody bothers him, he is from Lightorama. He has an appointment with Jenny Averson. He's just getting a couple of data points before he goes in. Not that anybody gives a shit, because it's just another guy in a jumpsuit who's poorer than you walking through a place.
Right. So you're fading into the background, kind of meandering around, taking down some data points. As you're slowly sort of working your way closer to Aveson's office, you can see that sort of mobile group of security guards have come up short at like a group of cubicles just a little bit away from the main office cube, and one of them is stepped out and is walking towards it, and the others are kind of just filling the hallway a little bit behind him. And a woman in a corporate suit is walking from Aveson's offices towards him and like stopping him before he gets all the way to the offices. there's a little bit of tension in their body language, and the guards that were already on the office are looking really uncomfortable. They're kind of looking at each other and then looking at the corporate person. There's definitely a tension in the air.
Son of a bitch. Well, I'm nosy and a little stupid, so I'm going to sidle my way over there just a little bit. Just to drop Abe's, Maniog style.
Sounds
You
good.
get excited emoji from Jax.
Nice. So you wander on over, and you hear the security guard saying, I forget, so bad with names. I'm sorry, Miss Berland, but our orders are very clear on this. We need access to Miss Avison's office. And the woman, Berland, says, and I'm very sorry, but I have very clear orders not to give you access. Miss Avison is not in the building. I don't know when she'll be returning. And she's instructed us, and she kind of gestures over her to the other two uncomfortable-looking security guards, to deny anyone access to her offices until she returns. And the security guy says, well, you can see why that's a problem, because my orders come from the head of security, and I need to act on them now. And Mrs. Berlin says, if you continue to pursue this, there is going to be a problem, and it's not going to be the head of security that suffers for this. It's going to be you, Jepson. And Jepson kind of leans back just a little bit, and then looks over his shoulder at the group of security guards, and like the tension is right on this edge. But not sure that Jepson really wants to use force, but it looks like Berlin's going to push it that way.
Okay, yes, I get in the way. Excuse me. I couldn't help but overhearing. I'm here from Lightorama on account of the lights. I had an appointment with Ms. Avison for 20 minutes from now. Did I hear you correctly say? And just get a little bit too much in their space. Just a little bit like, look at this guy. And now you need to pay attention to me rather than thinking about shooting each other. Please don't.
Nice.
No, I'm completely oblivious to the fact that there's tension in the room because I'm just here to do my fucking $8 an hour job. So can we just get on with it?
Gotcha.
What are you gonna do? Take my 8-hour job away?
Cool.
Yeah, so he's just gonna. Benjamin Hoff will ask. Oh, I'm Benjamin Hoff from Lightorama. He'll reiterate why he's here, a couple of times, like a dope. But yeah, he's gonna do that.
Jepson almost looks happy for the interruption, so he kind of like backs up a step and looks off to the side a little bit. You can kind of imagine that he's making a call on his AR or like asking for directions. Or something. And Nora Berland looks over at you and says, "Lightorama? That's well below Mrs. Avison's pay grade. I don't know how you got on the schedule." And she opens up her AR to try and check to see if you have a schedule. So I'm gonna have one of your security people whip up a work order.
Help me.
Does that sound like a job for J5 or for Lee?
Probably me. I'm probably more familiar with that. Unless you disagree, Lee.
No, I can help you make it look official, but you're the one who can get us in there.
All right. Team effort then.
All right. So what approach are you going to use here? Are you going to use careful or quick or...
Quickly.
I want to say clever, but that's mostly because that's my highest stat.
Well, let's see. If you do it cleverly, then there's a chance there'll be a mistake. If it's seen through, they'll know it's a forgery. If you use stealthy, they won't see through it, but they might not buy it. If you use careful, they won't raise any flags, but they might not buy it.
Let's go with careful.
Okay.
Let's go with careful.
Let's go with I should have had a plan.
We totally had a plan. It's official. The DM said so.
All right.
Yep. This is the plan.
This is the plan.
I'm going to roll this now.
Yes, you are.
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, that is a good roll.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a thing to send to you, James. Just a moment.
Awesome.
Whoop.
Oh, you can just say it if you want.
Okay, so I just got, depending on how close you are to the building, can someone come and knock on the van door, as it's suspicious you've been parked there for a while and no one got in or out of the van? God damn you, Jester Fudge.
Yes, that would be a valid compel. Because it can't rain all the time.
Can I ask a question? No, let me just interrupt for a split second, okay? Because I've never done this before. I've been role-playing a long time. And I've never played one where people are throwing out suggestions to the DM about how to the players.
Yeah.
It's very terrifying.
As it
go
should.
on, just leave me alone.
Yeah. So I think that's a good compel. And one of the things about Fate is always finding that balance between the compels making things interesting and raising the stakes, and compels driving us too far away from what we want to actually be focusing on. So that's the sort of the art form of the compel. And so what I'm thinking here is that J5 is working on putting the work order together, and he gets it out there just in time. But this knocking on the door thing happens, and he can't do anything about it because he's busy. So it falls to Lee to have to deal with it.
Okay, well, let's see. What does the van look like?
Get in his lap.
Tell me.
I'm serious. Get in his lap.
It's the best day ever.
It's also the only thing that makes any sense. Just throwing that out there. I'm getting a bear. You guys do what you want. Fucking, we're all gonna die out here.
There's so much lap in chat right now, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's actually we can have it look like a, one of those really special vans with like a unicorn on the side.
Nice.
Oh, God.
And yeah, when they knock, I'm gonna roll down the window just enough to give the impression that there is something very private going on in there.
Nice. Okay. So, let's see. The person knocking on the door is going to be a municipal police officer.
Son of a bitch.
And the
Of
municipal
course it
police
is.
officer, there is a current bounty out on J5. And there's a lot of police involvement around J5 right now. So he looks in, and you're giving him like the eyes, like, you're interrupting my fun time. What are you doing? And
Pulling, as if I have removed clothing, I'm pulling it back up quickly.
nice. Okay. So he is going to try and see if he can maintain an air of suspicion and watchful awareness while he's being distracted by you.
The hell's going on in here?
You want to call that clever, or do you want to call that flashy? All right.
I see the pun you did there, though.
Yeah, all right. It's kind of flashy.
It's flashy.
As is two things.
All right. So give me a clever roll, please. The dice have failed me.
Roll high.
All right, Lee, we're depending on you.
Yeah, look at that.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Stuart.
I'm really good at the socially awkward, you don't want to be involved or look in this direction thing.
And it's very effective. So he's like, "Hey, you're gonna have to. Move along." And he kind of looks down and away and turns away from the car and sort of wanders off.
Oh, thank God.
All right. But you do think you've got a clock on it now. Like, you've attracted some attention. You can only stay in this area for so long before someone else might have to come along and ask.
All right, so
All
I
right.
guess at that point I'd probably come out of my like hacking haze and be like, "Oh, hello. Are we doing this? What's going on?"
Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it.
I want to worry about it.
Wanna
I'm
worry?
worried about it. Good heavens.
What
All right.
what happened? What's going? Okay, we got it. Yeah, we'll move. I'll get out of the. Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
gonna make a loop. Somewhere along the line, I'm gonna change the AR on the van.
This is not gonna work.
Nice. All right.
Now it's his electrical van for his light armor.
Oh, smart.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, so you start moving the van and reprogramming
God,
the
I
van.
hope they don't go over their fucking video records because they're gonna really wonder why the Lightorama van arrived after Numbnuts.
Jax, what are you up to?
I'm going to have some small talk with Margaret, just catching up stuff. And eventually, especially as she's being distracted, kind of seg into like, so how's work going? I kind of miss the place, like, what's up?
So she goes with the small talk for a little bit, and then she switches to work, and she says, things have been a little tense, honestly. She kind of looks around and then drops her voice a little bit. Avison is working on something. We have all been working on this project. I can't really go into details, but we've been making as much progress, I think, as expected. And people are starting to look really hard at Avison. People higher up in the corporation. I think they're starting to get frustrated with her, and it feels like a lot of us are maybe in the wrong place right now.
Are you worried about keeping your position? I mean, I've got some friends and other stuff if you're looking.
Well, I'm afraid of I'm afraid of my future in the company, but I'm not sure I want to leave the company. I just kind of wish I was working for one of the other executives. Avison was very, very gung-ho up till about 6 months ago, and we were making a lot of progress, and all of a sudden everything just sort of ground to a halt. Except spending. Spending kept going, and so now we're in a bit of a hole.
That sounds rough. So I remember some of the politics from back when I was here. Like, who's pushing that she's in trouble with and everything?
So far, it looks like Nora.
Yeah, that's been brewing for ages.
She's had some progress with her projects, but I think she's really trying to make it keep the focus on Avison so that her project looks better by comparison. She's not really cutting edge stuff. Avison was cutting edge stuff. Nora is it's going to earn a profit for the Andri.
Mm-hmm.
But if Avison stuff had paid off, it would have been a game changer.
Can I ask about that?
I
mean, totally off the record, just, me.
We're working on force-growing clone parts so that we can regrow like an adult brain or adult body.
I'm sorry, what's the time?
In weeks.
Weeks? That's a game changer. No wonder they're pumping money into it.
If it worked.
Yeah, there's that.
We spent so much. Yeah, we spent so much money on pre-grown precursor and nanotechnology to create the sort of the infrastructure to then infuse with the genetic code. So we're not actually growing it; we're growing like a blank, and then we're infusing the code into it so that it then grows the little bit it needs to become almost like a fully originally cloned part. It's a amazing process on paper. In practice, though, it doesn't seem to be taking.
So what's Berland working on that she's trying to get the attention off of hers?
So she's really working more on the development of some age inhibiting artificial viruses. So injections that will slow down the aging process and sort of reinforce the organic tissue already in place. She's not making huge progress at this point, but some of the first couple trials look a little promising.
That's interesting. So where would you want to go if you're not staying in Addison's group?
I don't think it really matters. I just don't want to go down with the ship. I don't want to be attached to a project that's failing. I want to be attached to a project that's going somewhere.
Yeah.
And she, at that point, kind of looks over her shoulder again and says, and I kind of think that that Berland is forcing things to a head right now.
That's interesting. Like in a get Avison fired kind of way, or a
Yeah, basically get all of the attention everywhere on her and her absence and her files.
That's a bold move.
It sure is. So, at that point, I'm going to cut back over to Nora, and she looks into her AR and then kind of looks back at you, Sebastian, or over back at Benjamin, and then says, "I stand corrected. It looks like you did have an appointment, but she is out of town. She's departed and won't be back for a couple of days. We're going to have to reschedule. I could get you a meeting with the head of facility management right now if you wanted."
Well, my boss is sort of a stickler for doing what we said we would do. It's kind of one of our company policies. So I would very much, even if it's a couple of days down the road, I would very much like to speak to Miss Averson personally. But I can wait a couple of days. Your lights can't, but I can.
She's kind of nods and then says, "Great, then I'll put you in her schedule for when she returns."
Oh, thank you very much.
And then she gets like this sort of glazed over look, and then she focuses back on you and says, "You can show yourself out."
Delightful. Well, very nice to meet you. Thank you. Have a nice day, etc. And I beetle off to a men's room a floor down.
Okay.
And I'm going to wait until it's empty and go in a stall and close it. And then get in contact with the rest of my hooligan gang here.
So as you're taking off, it looks like Jepson is coming back and is looking pretty determined, is squaring right up to Nora Berland. So I put this little timer on the desktop here. It's called Security Showdown. And I'm going to advance it one click. And if we get to the point where it's fully full, then there's going to be violence.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
In the hallways. And you guys can either feed that or you can slow it down. All right, so that's Jepson and Nora. We have a couple of minutes while Crow makes his way to the men's room. What, anything the rest of you want to do in that time?
Chrome's going to start spitballing.
Go for it.
Everybody saw everything that just happened? I'm doing my best out here, but I'm afraid there may be violence before too long.
You can use that to get into the office.
Yes, that's true. I fear there are others slightly more brawny than myself who also wish to gain access to that office.
I forgot my accent. Shit. Right, but you could just make it happen a little further. We've done this before. You got it. You know what's going on.
Yes.
We all have a lot of faith in you, Sebastian. You'd have made it.
Well, it's certainly not misplaced, but well, we'll figure this out, I suppose. So shall we feed the violence then? Make things move a little bit.
Unless someone's got a better idea.
I certainly don't.
I mean,
I don't think I'm going to be able to sneak in.
Yeah, barring that, you're gonna have to like go around the outside of the building and try to sneak into the office to the window, and that's, you know.
But you know what would really fuck them up? Is what if Miss Jenny Averson returned early?
I insert into the conversation like text only. She's maybe about to get canned, so be aware that
Perhaps
showing up might
arrive to collect her personals.
Hold on, and I go and immediately try to find pictures, detailed pictures of her for Sebastian. See what I can come up with.
Okay, you find a good number of pictures of her. She's pretty well placed in the company, and so she's is a public figure. So you can find a lot of fairly detailed pictures of what she looks like.
Okay, this will work. We got this.
Oh, that's great. Oh, she's amazing.
So if you want to also stir things up, the whole Berlin thing is apparently to cover her own ass for her project. So, I mean, you can just blow things up a lot if you want.
Well, what do you all think is best? I'm open to
Well, I don't
this.
want you to end up in security custody. Is my only concern about you going in there is absent.
Yeah, you're also the man on the inside, so you know the situation better than we would. So I'm gonna leave this to you.
Well, yes, getting caught by security would be a shame. Spitballing ideas at this point. We don't have much time. I think sneaking is out. I think fighting my way in is unlikely.
Can you tag along with security? I mean, do they have, I don't know, face masks or? How
Perhaps
big
if something was in the air, they'd be forced to don face masks.
or just make it, I don't know, hard enough to see.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you're the man of 1,000 faces, so it wouldn't be too hard to.
Pick one of theirs. Someone's not going to notice they've got 2 Bobs on the team.
Well, I go back and I play back from what I've just seen.
Mhm.
Oof, and I'm going to pick somebody who's roughly the same size and shape as me.
Okay.
Someone who's only 3 days from retirement and has let himself get a little soft. And God, I don't have a face mask. And I'm also not upstairs, but I suppose if things got crazy, I could just make a run. Or this
I think I missed something. What's going on?
So it sounds like Sebastian Chrome is looking for someone who's on the security team to take the face of. And he's considering trying to sort of join in the chaos and take advantage of it. Is that about
no,
right?
I'm being stupid about this. Dumb question. Does anyone have a map of the area? The
Yeah,
floor?
right
We
here.
must.
Beep, go.
Fantastic. What is directly underneath her office?
Nice. The directly underneath her office on the floor plans is a. It looks like those central sort of offices are staggered, so they're not directly underneath each other. So there's this little cubicle farm on this floor that's right underneath her offices.
And the ceilings are short.
Yeah.
So if a man needed to replace a bulb or do some wiring or something, that's way less insane. And even better, if there's a riot going on upstairs, no one's going to hear any bullshit I do downstairs. Excuse me. I don't mean to get all excited.
No, please
All right.
get excited. It's great.
Yeah.
That sounds like a much saner plan. Well, I mean,
Sounds
slightly less insane plan, I guess, is where we're at. But
Okay. So you're going to work your way over to that cubicle farm and start fiddling with the ceiling and see what you can do there?
oh God, yes. And if anybody asks, I won't change my face or anything.
Mhm.
You know, he comes out of the stall, washes his hands. But I will look for somebody vaguely in management, middle management. I said, oh, I need to borrow a ladder, and
Okay.
Preferably some common tools. I left mine in the van, and it's 30 floors down, and you know how it is.
So you find a middle management guy, and as you're starting to make your pitch, he just kind of looks at you and then looks at your jumpsuit and then like makes a gesture and then walks away. And on your AR, like a little message comes and opens with a place where there's a janitorial area on the floor.
Fantastic. I hustle.
It's already unlocked. Like the command just unlocked it and everything.
Excellent. I hustle in there, and Sebastian is not a man of tools. He's never been to a Home Depot in his life, but he does his best.
Okay.
He's
So
running a video on one section of his AR, like how to call a hole in a ceiling. Like, oh, that's very interesting. Fuck. All right.
Okay.
So,
you're-
sorry to interrupt. Jamster Fudge says, if Sebastian's in the bathroom, could an important official walk in and ask if he's okay as he hears them talking quietly?
So it could happen. The thing there is that if it's and I guess that reminds me that J5, you should take a fate point for the person showing up outside.
Oh, okay, great.
That was a compel. Because it's happening to Sebastian, it has to be related to his trouble. So a compel for Sebastian has to be more related to him being a good guy in a bad world.
No. Fuck off. We don't have time for this.
So if like now that you mention it, see, this is why I like getting chat involved. There could be someone crying in the stall next to him.
Even better.
And he's like, all right, so I got to get into the shed. I got to get, or into the closet. I got to get all the stuff together. And then as he's heading there to get into the security, not security, the janitorial closet supplies, he opens the door, and in there is another janitor dressed in a drab-looking jumpsuit, older guy, balding, clearly have been crying. And he's got a very, very small handgun in his hand, and he's got the barrel of it pushed against his temple. And he kind of doesn't even bother lowering it. He just kind of slowly rolls his head to kind of look in your direction, and it looks like he's about to just start crying again.
Wow.
Whoa.
That got dark fast.
Whoa. Easy now. You don't want to do that, I promise you.
His hand shakes a little bit, and he kind of lets it slowly drift down, like from his temple, and kind of traces his cheek down to his lower jaw, and he says, "Who are you?"
Oh, please. My name is Benjamin. Do you mind if I come in? I'm just looking for a ladder and a couple of tools. He comes in and closes the door and starts bustling around with the shelves.
So his eyes kind of track you as you're bustling around, and he says, "No, sure, take whatever you need."
Thank you very much. They don't exactly set you up to succeed here, do they? Second-rate tools. They say craftsman on them, but even if you leave them out in the rain, they're still shit. I'll tell you what, that handgun doesn't look like craftsman, does it? That looks store-bought.
He kind of sort of lowers it a little bit so that it comes in front of his head, and glances down at it and nods. Yeah, I bought it at Quickie Mart.
Oh, yes, delightful. You can get anything at Quickie Mart now, can't you? You don't even need a permit anymore.
He kind of just nods, and kind of looks back at it and then back at you, and then says, "Yeah, are you done?"
Oh, well, they've given me free reign of the place, so yes, I'll be done in just a moment, I suppose. Leave you to your meditations, but maybe we could talk for a minute first. I'm new here. I'm actually with another company. I'm here to talk about the lights, but they said you can see yourself out, and I have data to collect, and you understand. You seem like you're having a rougher day than me, though. Well, something like this is more than a day's work, isn't it?
He just kind of nods, and he says, "Nobody sees me. You saw me when you walked in, but everyone else here," and he kind of gestures, and you kind of cringe a little bit because he gestures with the gun and kind of waves it around a little. And he says, "They don't even see me. Follow them around all day, picking up all of their trash, and they literally just don't see me. They look right through me."
They're trained not to see you. It's been that way for years and years. Many years, longer than you or I have been alive. And with the AR now, it's even worse. You say, oh, well, service worker, they're some kind of lesser human being, which of course is bullshit. We live and laugh and love just like everyone else.
All the ads, all the propaganda just tells me that I shouldn't exist. That all the good things are for people who are better off than me, who make more money than me, who have better lives than me. But none of it's for me. The ads aren't even for me.
I've never much cared for ads. But there's something positive about your situation. And I'll let you in on the secret. And the secret is that once you become invisible, no one can see you. And then you may act with impunity wherever you wish. So I tell you what, I will trade you a secret if you promise to put down that gun. It is a mighty secret. You will very much enjoy it.
He thinks it over for a second, and then he kind of looks down at the gun and thumbs the safety on and sticks it in a toolbox on one of the shelves. And then he turns back to you and says, what's the secret?
Oh, the secret is that no one sees me either. And Sebastian doesn't let his real face show, but he's going to shift all the metal plates in his face like a wave.
Nice.
Up and down into 1,001 faces, and then back down into Benjamin's.
He looks kind of astounded at that, and his jaw goes a little bit slack. And he says, "Who are you? What are you doing?"
Well, I'm the Invisible Man, and I'm here to make sure that people like you and I are seen. In the long run. In the short run, I'm here to cause some havoc. But, yes, in the long run, everyone deserves to be seen. A great man once said that evil only begins when you start treating people as things. I think you'll agree that the world is definitely treating you as a thing.
Do you need help with the ladder?
I would love some help with the ladder. It's been quite some time since I've been up a ladder. Would you hold it for me?
He nods.
If you do a fine job, which I'm sure you will, being an invisible man like myself, perhaps I could find you a better place of employment, where it's actually a job to not be seen.
He sort of nods slowly and says, "Oh, okay, let's."
Let us leave the gun here. You have to remember that if you shoot yourself, then they win. We don't want that. We don't want them to win. Right?
Right.
Fantastic. What's your name?
Leo.
Leo. Well, as I said, Benjamin, at your service. Now, come with me and let's cut a hole in a ceiling where we don't belong.
All right. So the two of you start getting together to do that. I'm going to write down Tom's name, or what did I say his name?
Leo.
Leo's name. Already forgot his name.
Oh my God. Okay, good. Somebody else take a turn.
Well done, Nate. Well done.
Can't even.
That was really good. I liked it.
Oh.
All right. All right. Anyone else need to do anything?
I'm just monitoring net activity for anything weird.
There's a lot of weird stuff happening in the net.
Yay!
So it looks like there's a lot of the building is huge, and it's home to like the offices of a bunch of different corporations, including Leandri. And there's a huge amount of net traffic sort of going in and out. But what you do notice is that there's specifically a lot of it happening in the vicinity of Joni Avison's office. So the local sort of servers and input-output ports are all being are seeing a lot of use.
Oh God. Still isn't gonna work, is it? It might work.
I let everyone know there's lots of traffic, so things might escalate really quickly.
I love talking about computer stuff like it's magic, because to me it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the good thing about this super future tech is that it actually is magic to us, you know?
Yes. Good. Okay. Jax, you do anything?
I'm going to keep talking with Margaret, and I'm going to try to kind of suss out, like, I know the project is stalled, but, like, so what do you have for, say, brains and say where it might keep them? Only,
Okay.
you know, like I do this for a living and don't suck at it.
Right. I gotcha. So you're pumping her for information, and she lets you know that that in fact for the last month or so, they've been shutting down a bunch of their laboratories and production facilities. So she's like, it's all moving around. I don't really know where it all is. We had a bunch of really tricked out laboratories and facilities, but we're shutting them down and moving the stuff around faster than most of us can track.
I can't imagine that helps with your research.
No, I mean, I don't know where we went wrong. we were making such good progress, and then it just went to crap like almost overnight.
I don't say.
All right. So I'm gonna push forward unless someone else wants to do something, or if you want to have more of that conversation, Jax.
That's fine.
Okay. All right. So Sebastian and the Invisible Man get the ladder, and do you let him in on what you're trying to do?
We also stop at a vending machine.
Okay.
Where Sebastian purchases a large pack of chewing gum and pops a piece in his mouth immediately.
Nice. You pay an exorbitant amount for it.
No! It's highway robbery, isn't it? If only we
Yeah.
still had stagecoaches, we could do something about it.
You get the ladder into position in the middle of the. I'm losing all my words today, which is great for a game master.
Cube farm?
Cubicle. Thank you. In the middle of the cubicles, you set up the ladder and you start poking around. And there's like a drop ceiling sort of deal with fluorescent lights in it. And then there's like a very little bit of crawl space where there's some wires and ventilation piping and stuff. And then you can kind of see the floor above.
Mm-hmm.
And it's looks pretty heavy duty, pretty thick. You need something fairly significant to either punch through it or cut through it.
Excuse me, Leo. Do you prefer Leo or Leonardo?
Leo, like the lion.
Leo, would you hand me a drill, please? And the longest bit you have in there.
He kind of scurries off.
Okay. How large is this hacking device we're hacking the mainframe with?
It's tiny. It is a tiny little, almost translucent sticker.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
You just have to get it on one of the devices. It doesn't really matter where, as long as it gets to it.
Perfect.
Because future tech.
Yes. Because the future magic tech. Awesome. He comes back in after just a few minutes and puts the hands you a drill with a long bit, and he seems to have brought like a push cart full of other tools as well.
Fantastic. Well done. Thank you. Okay. Sebastian sticks his head up into the crawl space full of God knows what has died up here.
Mostly dreams.
And,
Hey,
right, and
Sebastian. Sebastian, I got a
digging
question
around.
for you before you keep going.
Please.
Do you know what your new friend does? What does he do for a living?
Well, he's not killing himself for starters. And as for what he does for a living, I was thinking our base could use a maintenance man. But,
right. What I mean is, can he help you out right now with what he does as his actual job?
gasp. It's a fantastic idea. Aren't you clever? I dick around up there for a minute, like I know what I'm doing, and then...
He looks real curious, like he's watching you, like trying to figure out what you're doing. But...
Yeah, no one knows. Not even Sebastian, especially not Sebastian. Oh, Jesus. Ladies and gentle, sir, I speak into the rest of you. It would probably be easier to mess with the floor of her office if things went to shit upstairs. As much as it pains me to say that, I can't... It's one thing to get the translucent piece of fingernail magic tech into the room, and it's another thing to actually find the computer and stick it on it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
My plan has gotten me into this crawl space, and I can go no further without cutting out a large section of floor. I sub-vocalize this.
Mm-hmm.
Unless someone else has an idea, this is as far as my brain has gotten.
Well, it sounded like J5's idea might have been, can your janitor friend just waltz into the office? I hate to ask him to if that's about to go to shit.
Sweet
Or if you don't want to entrust his life, I mean, you could look
You
like
could do it.
You know, oh God. Oh, I could do it. Well, it's been a delightful list. It's a good idea. It's been a pleasure knowing all of you. I go back down the ladder. I believe there was actually, I apologize to whoever's cubicle we're dicking with. Excuse me, we'll be right back. Leonardo, I believe there was actually one tool left over. I'm going to need a 3/64 circular blah, 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 and I lead him back to the room I found him in.
Okay. He's nodding as he walks. He's like, okay, I think we have one of those.
This is called making things up as you go along. We're not normally. Me. Anyway, words. We arrive, and when we arrive, I close the door. All right, they open. Long and the short of it is, I need to get into Ms. Jenny Averson's office, alive, and without raising entirely too much suspicion. Do you have access to this office? I'm not asking you to do it. I'm merely questioning your capabilities for entrance.
Not without a work order. I'm not really good at faking that, but what do you need to do in there?
I could do it.
Oh, well, we can get a work order.
Okay.
But that would be it. No key cards, no keys.
No, I got all that. Once I get the work order and it's approved, I just use the ID number on the work order. I put that in my AR and things open for me.
All right. Can you think of a good excuse why you might go into an office to do something in there? Some kind of electrical fault? I don't know anything about any of this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I have to sometimes repair some of the wireless connectivity outlets there.
That's great. Is it something that you need to get into to affect like the productivity of the rest of the office?
All right.
I start working on that particular work order.
Thank you
Nice.
very much. It would be easier if there was an actual problem in there rather than one we're going to bullshit. I'm already skating on Finn bullshit as it is.
Anything I can do from this floor?
Can you somehow cause a problem in her office that would need to be fixed by someone looking very much like our friend Leonardo?
That's a tall order, but I
It
mean,
is. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm sorry.
sure.
If you're able to get that piece on there and we're actually able to get access, I can leave false evidence that such a thing happened.
Okay.
I've
So
spent
we'll-
a lot of time fixing problems. I can know how to fake them.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. All right. So we will fake a work order, take the fake order into the office for the fake problem, and then make it look like there was a real problem. After okay, excellent, awesome. It's a plan.
Okay.
If you magicians would please do your magic, that would be fantastic, and then I will carry out this delightful career in engineering.
Okay. So J5, give me a careful or a clever against a 2. And Jax, what are you going to try and do?
I'm going to lean on J5 only for a little bit on this, but like, if there's a thing I can spill coffee on, it'll have any effect. Hey, I just happen to have coffee and need to go use the restroom, and don't you know, like, you get out of the corporate life for a little bit and suddenly all these hallways look the same.
All right.
So if there's something like that can futz up the wireless for even just like 5 minutes,
Totally.
that'd be cool.
Okay. So you're going to have to be a little bit sneaky to get that done. Can you give me a sneaky roll?
Yeah, that's not my
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
not my forte. I'll give it a try.
Okay.
Are any of us sneaky?
Crap in a hat!
Yes, so such is one thing we're not.
We're all pretty go big or go home.
Oh, boss.
Ooh. Okay.
Wait, they rolled a 5? Was that for me that they rolled a 5?
Yeah, they did.
Oh crap.
Okay, so let's resolve J5 first. J5, you put it together and you think it's going to go through, but you think that there's probably going to be a automatic security review after it goes through, and it's going to get flagged on that.
Yeah, because I've navigated the corporate culture, though, I can totally make it work
Totally.
by
Depending on
spending
your
a fate
points.
point. Yeah.
Yes, you can. Works perfectly. All right, that's set. All right. So Jax.
Yeah.
That doesn't look so good.
No, it really doesn't. I also spend a fate point because I used to be a corporate stooge to re-roll that roll in the hopes that at least they won't succeed with style.
Okay, sounds good.
That's smart.
And it still has to be sneaky. Curses.
It does, unfortunately.
There it goes.
Better?
That's much better.
Much better. Oh, but still,
And they're not going to beat me with style, right? 3 is with style?
3 is with style, and they got a 5 tier 2, so I think they're...
Okay, well then, we're up for 8 points. Spent 1, so I will
All the stops. Pull them out.
spend another 1 to not have that be with style.
That's done then. What do you want to invoke for that one?
I have engaged in corporate espionage before, so like, yeah, I can pull the like, oh, I'm so sorry, I must have ended up in the wrong spot.
Totally.
You know, like, but see, look, I'm totally backing off, and if I really had nefarious purposes, I wouldn't. I'm just gonna go.
Okay. And that puts you at 4. I mean, you're within spitting distance of making it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's a lot of spit though.
Okay. All right. So you you find like the like a electrical hub. It's low along the floor. Actually, probably low along the floor. And you get like close enough to it that you're about to like aim your coffee in that direction, and a security guy comes around the corner like pretty quick, and clocks you immediately as not belonging to not having like an employee badge, having a visitor badge, and he must be having a bad day or something because he comes around angry, and it makes eye contact with you. Says, "Hey."
Oh, I'm okay. Sorry.
Back up.
I will totally back up. Yes, and just sort of meekly be like, "Where's the bathroom?"
He looks irritated, looks into AR, and says, "Come this way." And he does that like really shitty thing where he puts his hand like on your upper arm to turn you around and like lead you.
Get fucked.
Oh, wow.
And
This guy's not going to make it.
and
Cleaning him up with a sponge.
and pulls you like back towards the elevator that leads in, and you see like a nervous looking Catherine like hurrying out of the break room, and
Margaret?
Margaret, yeah, sorry,
Okay.
Margaret, hurrying out of the break room and coming over to like kind of intercept almost, and at that
Yes.
and at that moment you see the security guys who are getting ready to go into Avacyn's office, like, not quite draw their weapons, but start moving with purpose in that direction. And
Okay, I'm gonna say, Margaret, I'm sorry, I got turned around, and I'm gonna kind of turn to him, super apologetic, and be like, I'm sorry, I'm sure you have much more important things to do. My friend can show me where I'm supposed to be.
he looks over at what's happening, looks back at you, looks over at Margaret, and then says, "Get her out of here." And then he goes like lets go of your arm, and then stalks over towards the mess that's brewing outside of Avacyn's office.
Wow.
Sorry, man, what a dick.
She nods, and then says, "We better get out of here," and starts heading towards the elevator.
I will go with her.
Okay. Very good. Okay. So the work order goes through, and Leo and Chrome make their way up to the next floor. I'm going to review these suggested compels for a minute.
But
I'm
what?
also going
Hey,
to suggest Margaret takes the stairs, because, you know, if things are about to go ill.
All right. She nods and starts heading in that direction. Are you going with her?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I like Tiger Planet's suggestion. That's a good one.
Damn it.
And misbehave 8s. I like that as a complication. I have trouble adjusting, like, that fits J5's trouble really, really well. I'll think on that one a little bit. But good suggestions. Thanks, folks. Okay. Okay, so Chrome and Leo go back up to Avacyn's floor. You're coming out of the elevator just as Jax and Margaret are kind of walking past the elevator towards the stairs. It it looks like it's almost coming into a shoving match between Jepson and Nora Berland. And they're like nose to nose, and he is telling her to get out of the way, and she is saying that no, Avison was very clear, I'm not getting out of your way, and like mentioning Avison's name a whole lot. And then Chrome and Leo, what are you gonna do? You gonna sneak by him? You gonna go through the middle?
Oh dear.
Can you imagine how furious they would be if you just walked in like you belong there? The door opens, no big deal, and then shut. Oh my god.
How in front of the door are they? I mean,
Can you imagine how long I would be in security? I would never leave. I would become a light fixture.
Only if they catch you.
Sigma was here. All right.
Yeah, me too.
Sigma's always with us.
Sigma is always with us. I take one look at the situation and get back in the elevator. And
Okay.
we're gonna go down. No, we're gonna go down 2 floors. And on the way down, I'm going to explain to him, if I were you, I would very much take my card. I hand him my business card, and I would get out of this building, because I think things are about to go, as they say, pear-shaped. Please trust me.
He nods and says, I do. Remember the guns
All right.
upstairs if you need it.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm not a gun person, but more of a yo-yo man myself, and he pats his pocket. Please be
Nice.
safe. Call me tomorrow around this time. All right?
He nods and then departs.
Fantastic. I'm going to get back close the doors to the elevator, go back up, and shift to him.
Okay.
As we're going up,
Nice.
and I guess Hail Mary it. I just gonna work order. No one sees me anyway. You all don't even know my fucking name, and I'm gonna waltz right into that office
Okay.
because things are about to get fucking
Hey,
insane.
hey, Sebastian.
Yes.
Ask the guy to transfer the work order to you, and all of his codes.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that first. Definitely. Yeah. Transfer that shit to me, please.
He does.
Fantastic. Good. Thank you.
All right. So you, I'm going to have you roll sneaky. I know you're not sneaking, but sneaky is going to be like the approach of like walking by and being below the radar.
Clicky.
Very nice. That looks
What do
good.
we roll?
You got a 3.
Sweet.
Not bad. Not bad. Okay.
Congratulations, you're the sneakiest one of us.
For
That's too
sure.
bad. I'm playing a rogue already. Can't play another rogue. Oh no.
Fate point,
All
fate
right.
point, fate point.
But I am a bullshit artist, and if they catch me, they're probably gonna throw me in a hole, which might as well be death.
Well, at this point, you're not bullshitting yourself through. What you're doing
That's
at this
true.
point is trying to not get attention to yourself.
Oh, in that case, I am. Can I use an aspect on this? I'm sorry. It's been a
Absolutely.
while.
Yep. You can
Okay.
use an aspect and pay a fate point for sure.
I am a man with 1,000 faces, and I spend a fate point.
Awesome. Yep. They don't even look twice at you.
Phantasmagorical.
Walk right by them as they're like shouting at each other, and some of the security guys are getting like nose to nose, and it's starting to get a little personal between some of them. And you step
Your
into
mom.
Joni Evison's office. Joni Evison's office is not what you'd expect. For a moment, it looks very bland and dull. There's a carpeted floor. There's like plastic grayish walls. There's a desk that's very plain, a chair, terminal. And then the AR flickers on at your approach, and you're standing in a lavish office. There's fancy paperwork, fancy artwork on the walls. There's a skylight looking out over the city's sort of or the sky stretching out overhead. There's a painting that moves and changes as people are walking around in the background. The desk looks like this huge wooden monstrosity, and the terminal looks like a Tron-like neon beast purring on the table. And you are our inner office.
Good Lord, how the 0.5% lives. Where should I stick this thing? What's best for you all, so to speak?
Well, to the computer, the better. As long as it's on something that interacts with it. That'll give us the best connection.
Delightful. I bend down to the computer, and I'm gonna find the little window sticker or whatever the analogy is, and I'm gonna stick it right on that.
Awesome.
Nice.
Okay, you plant the prepared hacking device. There's the feeling of information flowing through your exocortex, and your entire network kind of shares that sensation as the tech starts to interact with the mainframe, and you instantly have a understanding of some of the things that are happening in the computer system right now.
Ooh, screen change.
Boom.
No. Oh, what?
All right. So from where you are in the local mainframe, you can tell that there's an offsite mainframe that's attached to it. That it's not in the building physically, but it is slaved to this terminal. And you can tell that there's currently something happening in that other mainframe. It looks like someone is accessing it from another remote location and is trying to delete some of the files in it.
Fucking balls.
The top right one?
Correct.
Okay.
You can also see that there's another mainframe you're attached to that's labeled Project Jeanette in the bottom left. And there is a external access gateway that is sort of the input-output of the entire Leandri mainframe that's present in this building, and that it is currently under attack from a external source. There's a hacker who's...
Is that Alice?
It does look like Alice.
That is a picture of Alice, that's for sure.
Yeah. So the way I picture it's... So there's an... I was like, not sure if we want to go like full-on Matrix computer hacking or if we want to go like numbers on the screen hacking. But
what would be more dramatic?
Right? From here, what you can see is that there is a hacker that is trying to gain access, and that their avatar is like a creepy little girl Alice, like Alice in Wonderland style. And she's melting her way through the security. It looks like the main Leandri mainframe is monitoring all of this activity, and that something has triggered a sort of internal alert, and it's trying to reboot security to purge everyone out of the system. Your goal here is to create a backdoor for yourself. So I put a timer for the backdoor in the local mainframe. I put a timer for scrubbing the files in the Avison offsite mainframe. And I put a overall reloading security timer for the mainframe. Because you get access to it, and that creates a little bit more of a tension on the overall server. Because it can't rain all the time, except it totally does.
God damn it.
You also detect, and you think that Alice does not detect it, that there's another force that's starting to at least be aware of what's happening in the area and is monitoring what's happening in the external access gateway. And you think that might be an AI.
Well, that's not creepy at all.
Son of a bitch.
Boom. Okay.
Yeah, we saw the giant death skull. Thanks.
No problem.
Holy crap.
I was pointing it out to all the other people watching.
I just kept making it bigger. Yes. All right. So that's what's going on. Do you want to, at this moment, intervene? Or do you want to like just ignore it, let it run its course, and leave your hacking device in position and see what happens?
I'm thinking here real quick.
Take your time.
Out of curiosity, in the off-site mainframe there, that image in the corner, that's the one I designed, isn't it?
It totally is.
Interesting. I'm going to start trying to grab information from there before it's scrubbed.
Okay.
Can't resist.
Cool. So what I'm going to do is wherever your portion of the collective awareness is planning its attention, that's where I'm going to put your token. So I'm going to put Lee's token over here in the Avison offsite mainframe. and you are going to try and get information from the source that is doing that hacking. So I'm going to have you attempt to do so. What approach do you want to use?
Clever. I'm always about the little back doors and quick shortcuts.
Sounds good. Boop.
Oh, damn.
Oh, my word.
Clever you are.
Yeah, that's a really good roll. Well done. All right. Apparently, I didn't give these people an attribute in that.
Automatic 0.
No, I did. Why isn't it working? All right, doesn't matter. Oh, because I have to... I didn't put the underscore. There we go. Much better. All right, so you got a 6, they got a 4. You have succeeded. So what that means is that you succeeded by 2. So I'm going to put 2 points of stress on them. And you are peeling away their security. It does look like there is information there to be had, and you are working at trying to get it. Cool. That was your turn, Lee. Who do you want to see go next?
J5.
Oh,
All right, J5.
God damn it, I have to send you something first.
Okay, sounds good.
Damn it. Damn, you misbehave.
Hey, misbehave.
Like it.
Give it a rest. Goddamn crowd. Oh, well, as long as they're being eaten by lions, maybe we could throw a tiger in there, too.
I don't know if that works, but we'll see. Anyway,
Ooh.
so my focus,
that's neat.
my focus is the job at hand. That's what needs to happen first for me. So I'm gonna be working on the local mainframe, creating the back door, securing it.
That sounds good. Alrighty. Then I'm going to have you attempt to do that. What sort of action do you feel like that is? What approach?
Clever, because
Clever.
it was a planned thing. We know what's happening. We need to make it right, and I need to figure out all the little ins and outs and
Do it.
make it happen.
That sounds awesome to me.
Bad.
Okay. Cool. Perfect.
When we have a moment, Tiger Planet is asking what Lee's aspects are.
Excellent. Very good question. Does he want them all or just her trouble?
We'll go with the trouble for now.
Okay. Because the other thing I can do is I can cheat and I can take
Check.
her character and show it to players.
Boom. There you go.
And all the aspects should be right there. All
I
right.
should just make a sheet.
Ooh. So you got a 3, I got a 1, so you succeed, but not with style. So that is going to advance your counter by 1. Okay. Work in progress. Actually, you know what? I'm going to not do it like that. I'm going to
I
say
see what we're
2.
doing.
Boop. Okay,
I
cool.
have to say, James, this is a really clever and cool way to do this. I like it.
Thanks. I have always wanted to do stuff like this. I like cyberpunk. I like sci-fi. I like Roll20. I like you guys. This is like a perfect storm for me. All right. So who wants to go, or J5? Who goes after you?
We're gonna go with Jax.
All right, Jax. You
Okay.
are currently in a stairwell. So if you're doing things in the mainframe while you're in the stairwell, you're going to be at a slight penalty. Where is your attention mostly?
It's mostly going to be in my brain. I will take the stairs pretty slowly. I am not a computer hackery person, so I just want to start pulling files from Project Jeanette.
Okay. Sounds good. So I'm going to have you try and do that. You're a little distracted, so I'm going to increase the difficulty slightly. But
Okay.
go ahead and I'll move your token over there. And do you see that as being clever, or are you trying to do it quickly?
I think I think probably clever. I guess that.
Okay, sounds good. Do it.
Ooh,
Yikes! Wow, the dice are
Yeah.
not liking you today.
they're not liking me today. They can't for all those other sessions.
It's
I've
your-
incorporated espionage before. Can I re-roll that?
Yes, you can, at the cost of a fate point.
Yes. Down. Try to-
Yes.
There you go.
Much better.
That's much
better. Okay, so that is a tie, which means you can succeed at a minor cost, or you can spend a fate point. So I think either you make no progress or you make some progress, but you directly attract the attention of one of the people involved in this mess out here.
I'm going to endeavor to spend a fate point and skip that. I
Okay.
don't want anyone to have people's attention right now. Sounds like a terrible idea.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yes.
So-
That is why we let the security guy eat me.
Yeah, that. So that's the. Also remember that you have the prepared hacking device with 2 free invokes on it. So like overall, you guys can use that.
I leave that to the more hackery people to
Okay.
work the important
So you-
magic with.
You make some progress in trying to scrape some data out of the Project Jeanette files. I mark that as a point of stress on this stress box here. All right, and you are making your way down the stairs, and you are, you're probably. I picture the hacking stuff is happening like faster than meet time, so probably another turn, and then you'll be in a spot where you can kind of exit the building.
Sure.
Cool. All right. Who goes next?
Well, so we end up beating the end of the round, all bad guys. I'm going to give it to the squiggly snake.
Squiggly Snake Eyes. Is that the association? Oh, do you not see names? Sorry. Hold on.
I'm not saying names.
That's okay. Now do you?
The association.
Yes, to see the association. Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Can you see Leandri Corp now?
No?
Nope. What would
Where?
that be?
Let me try this.
The ones we see: backdoor, scrubbing files, rebooting security, the association, and that's
Okay.
it.
Okay. Cool. I was looking in the turn order to see what was showing up in the turn order. Okay, so the association goes next. They are going to continue to try to scrub all the files out of the Avacyn mainframe. So they are aware that someone is attacking them, and they are really just sort of panicking and are going to try and do the get their thing done here. I succeeded with a 1, so that's a little bit of progress. I'm going to go ahead and spend one of my fate points. Boom. To make that a 3. Does
Does it go up 2 or 1 when you spend a fate point?
it goes up 2.
Okay.
So I went from a 1 to a 3. Yeah. So does anyone want to specifically try to stop them from doing that? I think actually you're in a good place, Lee. You could probably do that.
Yeah.
Why don't you, cleverly defend that? Or actually, quickly. Why don't you do it quickly? Because they're going as fast as they can.
Gotta go fast.
All right. So I only get 1 click on mine. Very good. Cool. All right. So the association, like, what you can see, Lee, is that there's not just one person doing it. It actually looks like there's a bunch of actors who are logging into this program from a distance and are running all sorts of programs trying to just clear this mainframe of all pertinent data. It's not a huge network that's working. You think that it's probably on par with the mainframe that's on this floor. So it's not like a supercomputer or an AI acting. But it's probably like corporation-sized computer network is working on this on the mainframe. But you managed to slow it down for sure. Who goes next? Oh, I choose. So good old Alice Acidburn, I think, is going to try and break through security on the external access gateway. She's going to do that forcefully. Oh, actually, before I decide that, let me check her stats. Okay, no, she's going to try and be sneaky.
We've met Alice before, haven't we?
You have.
Okay.
She didn't look like that.
No.
So because you recognize the archaic character, you can make the connection. But Acidburn was the hacker with who was in with Chaos Bleeds.
Right. Okay. Yep. Oh damn.
Okay, so she crashes security in the external access gateway. So she's clearly really, really good at this. She doesn't seem to have the same sort of point of view that you folks have because of your hacking device in the local mainframe. So you don't think she's aware of the stuff that's going on in the other systems. And you don't think that she is aware that there's an AI watching her. But the AI is watching her.
Right.
So the AI at that point, once she crashes the access, you feel like the AI starts getting access to all of the different mainframes and starts to be aware of what's happening, and hasn't responded to that yet. It's kind of just watching what's happening at this point. So it's an active watching presence.
This is awful right now. This is really bad.
Okay, that's the end of Alice's turn. The association already went. So the mainframe is going to go, and the mainframe is going to try and reboot security. It makes some progress on doing so. No one is in the position to stop that. That's just going to happen. Unless one of you is actively using your turn to try and make it more difficult, it's just going to start making progress as it goes along.
Right.
Okie doke. Then, Sebastian, you are in an office and you put the sticker on. You're like, all right, mission solved or mission complete. And then all of a sudden, like all this information starts flowing everywhere, and like hacking hacking data is flying all through you, and you can also hear like the scuffle outside has gotten to the point where there's raised voices, and probably someone's getting hit right now.
All right. Well, Sebastian's about as useful as a grass helmet when it comes to hacking, so he's gonna just shunt that aside and let the professionals do their jobs. His goal right now is to get out of here without being killed. Yep, well, it was an easy fix. Great, fantastic. Signs off in the work order. And he's going to head outside and try to get to the elevator as nonchalantly as possible.
Okay. Give me a sneaky, please.
No, not sneaky.
Ooh. What did I roll? No!
You rolled a 1. I got a 3.
But
Yeah.
clicky. But Sebastian always knows where the nearest exit is.
Okay.
He will quickly overcome this obstacle to escape a situation.
Okay. So what I'm going to have you do is instead of rolling sneaky, you're going to roll quick. And what you're doing is you're not caring who sees you. You're just getting the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah, he sees this. He's like, oh my god, people are fighting Jesus.
Oh,
right.
man.
That's not good either.
But you get a +2 to that one because of your stunt.
Yes.
So that puts you at a 3. So that's a tie. Do you want to spend a fate point to either reroll or tip it over? Or you can take success at a cost, which is you get out, but you do attract some attention, and you'll get out of the building, but you will have at least one guard following you.
Oh, Sebastian's not leaving the building. He has other plans.
Okay. Well, then you'd have one guard following you with a high degree of suspicion.
Phenomenal. Let him.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he's gonna make it to the elevator. Oh god, I hate violence. And head down. Does the guard get in the elevator with me, or is he just seen this?
He gets in the elevator with you. He doesn't like interrogate you yet, but he's like, he's aware that something's not quite right with you, and he's trying to figure out what it is. So he's and he doesn't want to be part of the fight either. So he's like, sees the fight going, he's like, you look a little suspicious, I'll go with you, and gets in the elevator with you.
How big is this fucker?
He's
I guess does it really matter? It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't
He's
really matter.
already way bigger than me.
well, so remember, you're a badass. You could probably take this guy in a fight, maybe.
I'm gonna fight him. He wants to scar him mentally for life. All right.
Oh, well, then you
I have a plan. I have a plan.
Yikes. It's dark, dude.
There won't be a mark on him.
All right. So your turn this round is going to be getting into that elevator, clearing the fight, and getting on the way down. We'll see what
Yes.
happens next in a minute.
I'm heading down, based on the maps I was given, I'm heading down to wherever the HR hub, IT hub of this place is.
Okay. Very good. You head in that direction.
Yes.
Let's see. Security is going to be with you and be suspicious. Are you like making small talk with him at all, or are you just kind of ignoring him?
Oh, jeez, that was horrible up there, wasn't it?
Okay.
Can't
So-
believe they're shoving each other.
What he does is he kind of nods, and in AR, what he's going to try and do is call in basically and let people know that he's following someone who's suspicious. He's not telling you he's doing that, but like on some level, you kind of know that's what he's doing, and you can try and stop him from doing that.
I'm going to burst into tears.
Okay,
Absolutely burst into tears.
I love it. Sounds.
How can it be that I can walk out of that office and they're in there punching each other, and I've been here for 25 goddamn years and nobody sees me? You know what? I'm just gonna go home, and I think I'm gonna take like 40 fucking Tylenol, man, and nobody would ever even fucking care. You know,
That's
they'd
awesome.
have to come find me when the smell started to get in the hallway, wouldn't they? Do you know what this is like? You don't know what this is like. Look at you.
That's fantastic. All right. That sounds either sneaky or flashy to me. Which you want to call it?
higher? Where's the higher? Higher, clicking. Sneaky, equally shitty. All right, click.
All right. He totally goes for it. He does not call in. He does not let anyone know where he is. And he looks a little bit taken aback by the intensity of your emotional state.
God, I'm a man crying. Be offended.
Toxic masculinity makes him very uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Yay.
Excellent. Good luck.
Yay!
Worked in our favor for once.
All right. So I think I'm going to hand the next turn over directly to the Leandri Corporation itself.
Oh,
It's
crap.
going to try and advance that timer. Oh no! It runs into some difficulties.
Gross incompetence.
I'm going to use one of my fate points. I got 3 of them.
No.
Leandri is obsessed with protecting its data, and so I invoke that aspect to get a +2. That puts me at a 1, so I make some progress.
Harumph.
Perfect. Okay. And after Leandri Core goes, Leandri Core will choose Alice. Alice is going to, at this point, look around at the other computers that she is connected to now that she has access, and is going to move directly to Project Jeanette.
Hmm.
And So she gets there, and then she starts sort of looking into the information present. She scans to kind of see who's present. Would you, Jax, please roll sneaky for me?
Haha. I mean, I can, sure. That can happen. Have you met me?
All right.
Hey, I'm kind of proud of that 0.
Yeah, it's good. So she quickly scans the mainframe, and you know that your access point has been discovered by her, and she's running some diagnostic sort of software to figure out like who exactly you are, and she sends you like a quick ping that says, "Which one are you?"
I'll be like, hey, it's Jax. Hi. Do like a little, winky emoji or whatever.
Right. And you get like a triumphant grin emoji back, and she said, "I knew I was in the right place." And then she immediately starts like at that point ignores you and starts really digging into the data here and trying to like rake up a portion of it.
So is she trying to like copy or like copy and delete? Can we both be copying?
So are you deleting as you're copying?
No.
Okay. So she takes her lead from you, and she like tries to copy some of the data that you've already gone through. And if you don't stop her, then she doesn't delete it either.
Great.
Okay.
That's fine. She can have that copy. We can,
Okay.
You get 1/2, I'll get 1/2.
Yeah. She says, I just want to know.
She just, what was that?
I just want to know.
Okay, well, we have company, so if you want to split this job up, I'm down with that.
What do you mean?
We're not the only ones here.
She like hits her diagnostic software again, and she says, "Yeah, we are."
Take my word for it.
Point her at this, and I give her a quick address.
I send her that.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you, J5, to resist this with quick, please.
Ooh.
Oh, that looks awful.
Jesus.
That's fucking cool, man. I can't know.
A 9?
I can't make a 9, dude. I got a 1.
Who just rolled a 9?
So the information you send to Jax goes through without a problem. But the minute Jax tries to transmit that information to Alice, your whole network like shudders under the weight of an incredible attack, and that information doesn't make it to Alice. And Alice just kind of says, "Okay, I guess I'll take your word for it," and keeps going.
Yeah, she's compromised. We can't do that anymore.
Oh, shit.
Beep. And there's going to be an aspect on the scene that Dis just created that is disrupted network.
That is so cool.
And it's got 2 free invokes on it.
This pater, wait.
Nice.
You like that, don't you?
I do.
Fuck. Go.
All right. So that was Alice's turn. So Leandri went. I'm gonna see what. Go down there. I'm gonna see what Jax does next.
I'm going to keep chilling Betta.
Okay.
And try to send a little like worried face emoji over to Alice. See if that goes through.
Okay. The worried face does go through, and
Okay.
Go ahead and roll clever to continue with your operation here.
This pater.
But I will take that 0 if I don't have fate points currently.
Okay.
What's your
Then-
trouble, Jax? Sorry to interrupt.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Okay.
Nice one. All right. So you try to get some more information, and it looks like Leandri, the information network is just kind of locking you out. It's starting to recognize that someone's rifling through the data who shouldn't be, and it start putting up defense protocols in place.
Okay.
Do you want to use any of the prepared hacking device free invokes?
One would make that just a tie.
Yeah,
What would happen on a tie?
You would get one click closer, but you would be at a cost. And that cost might be that taking that information, you have no choice but how you take the information, so it starts to corrupt the information you take, and Alice sees that as you trying to hide stuff.
Gotcha. What do other people think? Is that worth spending the hacking, or just let it go for now?
What is the cost of not doing that?
Alice will think I'm trying, or the cost of not doing that. I assume it just nothing happens this round.
Yep.
Can I try again next time? Yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay, cool. So you don't make any progress in getting information this round. Who do you want to have go next, Jax?
I'm going to let J5 go next. Because fuck whatever just happened.
So, James, I have a question for you.
Sure.
As far as I can tell, the security reboot can only advance up to 2 times per turn.
Correct. So far.
So far, okay. Because we're dangerously close. All right, I'm gonna let everyone know that we might need to bail on this project soon. This could go south very quickly, and I'm gonna keep working on the back door.
Alrighty.
Actually, wait a minute. No, I'm gonna do that and then think about it after.
Okay. All right. Oh, bad roll on my part.
Good.
What do I
Thank
need
you.
to roll?
I don't know. Clever, probably.
It's clever last time, I think.
Yeah, clever sounds good. Nice roll. All right. You succeed with style. It advances by 2. All right. So you start building your back door, and it's going really well. Like, you're making huge progress. It's going very quickly, and you know that if you complete that before they do the security reboot, you'll be able to come back here and salvage any information that isn't scrubbed from the system, basically. Okay. Who do you want to have go next, J5?
Lee.
Lee, you're up.
I'm going to continue as I was doing.
Excellent. Do it to it. Nice.
Very nice.
All right. Boom. Okay. So you complete, you complete accessing the files here. You effectively have owned this mainframe, and can block them out entirely if you want. Are you focusing more on the content of the mainframe, or on learning about the association?
I want what's on the mainframe mostly.
Okay. Do you want to block out or scrub the association from the server, or do you want to keep them involved and in play?
Well, they're trying to scrub things, right?
Yep. So you've got access now, and you can start copying information right away. So the worst thing that they could do is either move to another mainframe or start trying to do things to you directly.
I'm gonna block them out.
Okay.
Mine.
Yep. This mainframe is yours.
Nice.
Pwned. All right. You start downloading a whole bunch of data. Who do you want to have go next? Security or Sebastian?
That was for you, Lee.
Yeah.
I said Sebastian.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, yeah, we didn't hear it.
Go, Sebastian, go.
Sebastian finishes blowing his nose into his handkerchief and steps out of the elevator. I'm just gonna go cry in my office a bit, and turns the corner and gets out of sight of that guy. If he, he doesn't want. Who else wants? Okay, so he's going to duck into the. Oh my God, words! Into the break room.
Okay.
He is going to grab the sugar off the table, and he is going to grab 2 cold packs out of the freezer and hustle on towards the I keep wanting to say HR, onto the IT hub, wherever that is.
Okay. So grabbing those things, you're setting yourself up for doing something.
Yes.
Since that's going to take your action, why don't you roll clever against a difficulty of 2, and if you succeed, you can create a perfect. Okay. So on a tie, you get a boost. So you have a boost that is, we'll call it sugar and ice and everything nice.
Nice.
Boom. And you have, so it's a boost, so it's a floating +2 you can use as long as you use those things going forward. And you clear out of the break room and you head towards the IT hub.
Yep.
The IT hub is kind of a boring looking room that's immediately next to a very, very well secured like server farm. And so the workroom with all the IT guys in it are all like, sitting at these very plain desks. And the AR is turned so that only if you're an IT guy can you see the AR. But all of them are like lounging back, looking around, moving stuff around in AR. And there's like 2 big, like they're clear, but they're like heavy glass doors that open onto the server farm at the other end of the room.
Okay. I'm going to shift my face into something different, very just quickly, just so that our poor bastard Leo doesn't get gunned for later. I'll do that while I'm in the break room.
Okay, I'm sorry. Say that again.
Sebastian is going to shift his face into something different other than Leo.
Okay.
When he has a moment of privacy. Just a
Cool.
split second is all it takes. So.
Yep. No problem. You can do that.
Awesome.
I got distracted by a really great suggestion for a compel from Tiger Planet. Tiger, you're killing it, man.
Guys, cut it out.
Yeah, seriously.
That is great.
I like your participation, but fuck you.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay. So I'll keep that in mind. Cool. All right, so you're all set, and you're walking in different face. You got your supplies. You're in the server room, and we'll pick up there on your next turn. I'm going to say that physical security is the guy who rode down in the elevator was really kind of put off by the emotional thing and doesn't want any part of you anymore. So he is he's going to kind of wander off. I'm going to leave him in the turn order so that in case, on the off chance that Sebastian Chrome gains some attention, that'll be a placeholder for the response to that attention. But we will they will not take an action this turn. So Sebastian, who do you want to have go next?
Okay, guys, let me just throw this out there. If I go next, I can make your lives a hell of a lot easier.
You just went though.
Wait, I just
You just went, yeah.
All right. I don't know.
Okay. We've all gone this round, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, who's left? Or is this the top of the round?
Yeah, top of the round. Everybody's left.
Oh,
Oh,
then can he pick
I'm
himself to go again?
Yeah, I guess you could. Absolutely.
I'm sorry, this will make your lives be a lot fucking easier, I think.
That's okay.
Or at least give us a fucking advantage. Okay, I'm going to waltz into IT like I own the place.
Okay.
And I'm going to mix my ammonium nitrate with my granulated sugar, and the ensuing smoke bomb should be quite large.
All right. So let's
just
see.
in case he calls attention to himself.
Yeah, right.
Just in case.
Don't you worry, I've got a plan for that too.
Okay.
I believe it.
Don't worry, Milo, I've got another idea.
Let's see. How do I want to do that? So why don't you do clever,
Okay.
and then add 2 to it for the boost.
Any good? Oh, balls. I'm spending a fate point. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
you should, because that was an awful roll.
That was horrible. Come on,
All right.
clicky.
So what are you invoking to get that?
Oh, you know,
Going just for a reroll, right?
yeah. I'm a good guy in a bad world, and I'm just trying to help my friends, God damn it.
I'm going to say
Or-
that's your trouble, so that should get you into trouble more often than it saves you.
Shit, I'm balls. All right. How about, I don't know. I stole the last breeding pairs of Egyptian alligators. I know where they live. Their names are Messiah and Ebony, and I need to live and get out of here. And no, that's not helping either because I'm not just running out the door. Son of a bitch!
Remember, you do have Sigma's aspects as well.
Oh, thank God. Yes, Sigma, save me. Where are you?
I gotta go look at those real quick.
There's isn't there like we have the key Sigma's with us, and no,
We are
she
all
has a whole bunch
We
of
can
other stuff.
we can
Sig-
save this one.
Sigma is with me because she showed me how to do this in the first place.
Ooh,
Okay.
nice.
What's that flashback like? Tell me about that scene when she did this with you. So I love it. I think it's perfect. I'm just
Okay, just give me a second.
yeah, sure. Take your time. I'm going to talk while you're thinking.
Yeah, sure. We were in the ruins.
Guess not.
We were in a ruined home in what is left of the United Arab Emirate. Things had gone terribly wrong, and Sebastian they were under fire. Sebastian was panicking a little bit, and Sigma very calmly, despite the fact that they were under fire, and Sebastian's go-to was to put as much concrete between him and the bullets as possible and just sort of hope something changed. Sigma very calmly explained to him to go into the fridge that he was leaning against, look for the cold packs, look for granulated sugar. This is called ammonium nitrate. And she's giving him a chemistry lesson while the fucking world is on fire all around them.
Nice.
And it was her calming voice and basic chemical cookery that allowed them to make a smoke screen and get the hell out of there without anybody taking any hits.
I love that woman.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I picture she's talking you through it, and the sort of calm voice punctuated by gunfire. She's firing back at the people who are attacking you, and you have this moment where you pause for just a minute, like you don't want to quite break cover to do it, and she says, just kind of very simply, "I'm with you, Sebastian. I'm right here." And you finished making the bomb and created the smoke cloud for your escape. And that sense of surety and connectedness fills you. And somewhere off in the distance, her exocortex hums to life. And you can totally do this. Go ahead and reroll.
Oh, this is 1,000 times easier.
Yeah.
Clicky. That's clever.
Yeah, clever. Perfect. Beautiful.
Very nice.
That is a beautiful roll.
That is a beautiful smoke bomb.
Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. I gotta get back on this page. So that's a 6 with the boost. So that puts you in a great spot. So what's your intention in doing this? Is to clear the room?
My intention is to fuck up anybody who's trying to get between me and my friends.
Right.
And while they're scrambling around, and in the cover of the smoke, I'm going to shift to look like one of them and run out screaming.
Awesome.
And head to the elevator and get the hell out of Dodge.
Awesome. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call that a created advantage, and I'm going to call it
Smoke and mirrors?
Smoke and mirrors. Oh, yes. Well done, sir. Well done. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that over under or near the hacking device. Boop. And we'll call it Smoke and Mirrors. And I will give that 2 free invokes. And anyone who's working against the security of the mainframe can use those invokes, as there is complete chaos. Oh, wait, you gotta get smaller. There we go. There you go. Cool. So now you guys have 2 free invokes on prepared hacking device and 2 free invokes on smoke and mirrors. And the IT department is just a mess. And you are getting the fuck out of Dodge.
Yes.
Perfect. Who do you want to have go next, Sebastian? Good move, by the way. That was great.
Mm-hmm. Oh, jeez. J5 should go next.
All right, J5.
I'm going to try and pound this thing.
I'll do it.
Keep doing the thing. Because we're close now.
You're super close.
I think we're doing clever.
Ooh.
Ooh, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
So I rolled really well.
Okay, I'm going to use prepared hacking device.
All right. You want to use one or both?
I'm going to use one.
Okay.
And I would also like to invoke my Rogue Corp IT expert
Absolutely.
aspect.
Okay. So that puts you at 7. So that will give you 1 click. If you can succeed with style, you'll get 2 clicks. You have to spend 1 more fate point or 1 more free invoke to get there.
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
Can I use my stunt I know this system?
I'll allow it, yes.
Okay. Then that will give me +2 to cleverly overcome obstacles to access computer systems.
Sure does. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I do the math wrong before? So
maybe. So 3. I used 2 for paired hacking device. That's 5.
Yep, that's 5.
And then I used Rogue Corp IT expert. That's 7. And then
there you go.
Then the stunt makes it 9.
Yes, perfect. Well done. All right, 2 clicks are yours. All right.
Well done.
Yeah. Your back door is just on the verge of being complete. Unless, yeah. Good.
Unless, yeah.
Now, I think you're going to succeed. How much time you get after you succeed is a good question.
Right.
All right. So, who goes next, J5?
I want to see what Lee can do with the mainframe she owns.
All right, Lee.
She might be able to buy some time.
So you have all the data in the offsite mainframe. So I guess from the mainframe, what you can kind of pick up from the data is that it is in a random server farm somewhere else, that it doesn't really have a physical location per se. It was mostly used as sort of a private, covert place to stash information. What do you want to try and do with it?
I'm mostly just stashing it to look through later.
Okay.
But possibly for the moment, I want to try and help J5 with the back door.
Ooh. All right, do it. Ooh. All right, give me a clever, please. Oh, there it is, 4. Very nice. And let me resist with this. Oh no! All right, you succeed with style. So you, let's see, is that worth trying to stop you? How many fate points do I have left here? I have 2 left. Nah. You win. So the you see where J5 is at, and sort of seamlessly you like transfer your awareness from one server back to the other, and you complete the process that he began, and the back door snaps into completion and then fades into the fabric of the programming of the mainframe. You feel like even if security resets at this point, you'll have a secure backdoor into the server. Nice job, Lee. Good work. All right, who goes next, Lee? Alice, the mainframe, Jax, or security? All right, Jax, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to keep on keeping on.
Go to it.
Which was clever.
So before you go, actually, so Alice, since you kind of raised her suspicions a little bit, she kind of looks around and says, or pings again and says, I know something about what you're looking for here. Something that's not going to be in these files. If you can... If you let me have what's left, I'll tell you what I know.
Any reason we can't both have what's left?
You clearly know something I don't know, and that bothers me.
Well, I'm happy to trade that info to you as well offline. It's not going through right now.
I don't know that we'll talk again offline.
I recommend it.
So I'm going to offer you a compel.
Mm-hmm.
That you really kind of want to know.
Bluffing right now.
Yeah. So you really want to know what she's holding back. The point that you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of the data in Project Jeanette in order to get what she's offering you.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
It was a good... I totally am not going to fall for this. I'm falling for it.
Yep.
But yeah, okay.
Cool. So you take a fate point. You get a fate point.
Oh dear.
And so for this round, instead of getting more information from the server, you pause and let her kind of get a head start on you, on taking some of the information. And she and she's going to grab a bunch of information this round. Do you want to try and... No, I guess that's the compel. That's the compel. It's hard for me because I want you to have your cake and eat it too, but that's the compel. You got the fate point. So, so this round, she scoops up a bunch of information. And let's see, at the same moment that happens, let's see. All of the you notice that all of the information that she is taking, okay, so Dis Pater is planting viruses in Alice's wake. So where Alice is taking information and sort of leaving holes, he is filling those open spaces with all sorts of viruses that aren't active right now, but when the security thing reboots, will probably destroy all of the information in Project Jeanette.
Oh shit! And I will send Alice a note and just be kind of do the equivalent of circle it and point at it and be like, really?
What note are you sending her?
I just sort of want to point out what she's doing.
Okay.
She's doing and be like, Alice, really?
Go ahead and make a flashy roll.
That I can do.
Okay.
I hope.
Because you're just trying to draw her attention. Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
Take that.
That's the Jax we know and love.
Oh, very nice.
None of this sneaky stuff.
Oh.
Oh, balls.
What happens on a tie?
You succeed, you were defending, so he does not succeed, but he gets a boost. But I'm going to spend one of my disrupted network invokes to succeed. So you try to point it out, what's happening, and Dis interrupts your communication with Alice and covers his tracks so that even if she looked, there's nothing to see right now. So you know what happened, but there's no trace of it happening. Yeah. Okay.
Can I get whatever the equivalent in this weird brain hacker medium of a photograph is? Is
absolutely.
that... Okay.
Yep. You have Absolutely. You've got the sensorium readout of what's happening
Yes.
here for before and after. Totally.
That's what I want.
You got it. Perfect. Okay, who goes next, Jax? Security or Leandri?
I'm going to let security go next.
Okay. All right. So security scrambles to the IT server room, and like armed and armored security guys pour into the area. They're going to try and catch everyone and detain them for questioning. So I'm going to go ahead and have them roll security, and I'm going to have Sebastian resist with quickly. Oh. Except for my security roll, it's piss poor.
Yes.
Yeah,
Excellent.
you know what? Nah, I'm spending a fate point on that.
Grr.
'Cause they are paranoid. There we go. I doubled my score.
Okay. No, wait. I have things. I always know where the nearest exit is.
Yes, you do.
I get a +2 to quickly overcome obstacles, including the SWAT.
Yep. You want to narrate what that looks like when you evade them?
Oh yeah, I mean it's all screaming nerds and toppling keyboards and smoke everywhere and this this big larger gentleman with a neck beard and a fedora goes screaming by. He's wearing a shirt that says "pwned" on it. Slams right through them. I mean, you don't want to touch these people anyway, but you know, when you can't even get a line up, yeah, forget it. He's out.
Fantastic. All right. So you get clear. Are you leaving the building at this point?
I can't really think of anything else to do. I mean, do you guys need more help? I
Busy.
don't know that there's anything else I can do from this building.
Get out.
Exit.
Yeah, I'm gonna exeunt omnes.
All righty. You get the fuck out of Dodge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Leandri Corps, despite some difficulties, is going to advance their the rebooting process. If you'd want, because of the smoke and mirrors and the chaos in IT, if you want to spend a smoke and mirrors free invoke to resist their roll, I would allow that.
Let's see why not. Right? Anybody?
Go for it. That's what they're
Okay.
for.
Done.
Don't be
So
afraid
you
to
spend
use
one
them.
of those. Boom. And then instead of succeeding with style, I only succeed. So I will roll that back. Okay, cool.
Beautiful.
All right. So now we're back at the top of the order. The Leandri Corps is going to have. We'll have. They're going to pull what I'm going to refer to as the Sebastian Chrome, and they're going to tag themselves. And they're going to go again.
Did you?
And there we go. Roll that. Roll that. I succeed with style. Do you want to use that last one to resist it?
Yes.
Okay. So that puts me at just a regular success. So I will advance by 1. Okay, and then Leandri Corps will choose for Alice Acidburn to go next. So Alice keeps ripping the information out of Project Jeanette, and knowing that it's destroying, it's leaving behind like viruses. Jax, do you want to resist? Actively resist her doing that? Do you want to work against her?
So many which way there. No, I think think I will let that one go and then try to recover from it rather than piss Alice off.
Okay, sounds good. Boom. Boom. All right, she succeeds by 2. I'm gonna advance her timer here. Okay. Actually, that's probably not the right way to do that. There we go. We'll do this one. So what that does is she effectively owns this server now. Oop.
That's awful. That sucks.
All right, and therefore, so does Dis. Jax, how do you want to respond to that? At this point, you're free from the compel. You can do whatever you want now.
I would. Trying to come up with a. I mean, she's an AI, so. Or, I mean, this is an AI. And I can't pull data because she owns the server, I assume.
You could try. She would be able to try and resist you or stop you.
I'm going to try to point out the viruses again. I don't know if that's going to be successful, but maybe I can at least keep us a little busy with it.
Okay, go for it.
I would like to do that. My forceful and my flash do it the same these days.
Okay.
But I would like to do that flashily because, really.
Boom. Sounds good. Go for it.
Oof.
Oof.
Yikes.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to take pictures of all of this.
Okay.
Such as it is. Because eventually I can...
So she can definitely tell you're doing, like, something. And so she's like... She knows something's going on, but she can't figure out what it is because what she's seeing isn't making any sense. And so she's getting this, like... So tech's
what are you doing,
weird.
Dave?
Right. But it's certainly not clear. Yeah, right.
Great. She noticed something's up. I will take it.
All right. And she is like reaching out from this server and is like seeing what's happening with the rest of the servers right now. And she and she will send you like another message and saying, "What are the others doing?"
Computer stuff. Sorry, it's really not my bag.
She sends you an eye roll emoji, and Jax, who goes next?
I'm going to let Sebastian go next.
All right, Sebastian, you are out of the building.
Woo!
What do you want to do? Anything?
I'm going to make my way to the van.
Get to the
discreetly.
chopper.
All right, you get to the van.
And I'm going to sidle my way in and ask my friends how I can help.
Drive us away.
Oh, delightful! Yes, I'm on it.
Drive
Where would you
away.
like? I'm going to wait for.
Once we get Jax.
I think actually I lost track of Jax's meat body, but I think your meat body is probably in that area as well right now.
Okay, excellent. I will guide my meat body to the van.
Awesome.
Excellent.
All right.
Once the van is full of meat, I'm going to drive away.
Perfect. All right. Who goes next, Lee or J5?
Lee.
All right, Lee. What you doing?
Okay, so we have the info from the offsite mainframe, right?
Yes, you do.
Right. And
Cut our losses, I think.
is there anything worth grabbing on the local mainframe?
No.
Okay.
Well, let me rephrase that. Nothing pertinent to your overall sort of projects, but you do have access to a lot of Leandri like proprietary information if you want to steal something.
You do need
Stolen
money.
things can be fetched for goods and services.
Yep. We got off. Let's rob him.
That's nice. Fucking roll in, knock over their shit, and steal their lawn ornaments. I love it. Fuck these guys.
All right. So I think that would probably be sneaky or clever if you want to find some pay data. All right, we're tying. So you can succeed at a cost. I think the cost would be that that the mainframe recognizes you as stealing proprietary information and starts trying to trace you.
Because I was trained in overlay design, I get a +2 and I cleverly create advantages when dealing with programming.
Oh, that's fair. Okay. So your eyes or your fingertips glow in the van, and the parts of your exocortex that are used to interfacing with machinery light up, and you get a +2. So that makes you succeeding by 2. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an aspect on our main screen here that is pay data, and I'll give it 1 free invoke. And when you're making these rolls to see how much progress you make, you can invoke that.
Nice.
Write it down before I forget, though. Pay data. Do you want to use any of the floating free invokes, the prepared hacking device, or I think that's the only one actually right now.
I'm going to leave that one open.
Okay. Sounds good. Alrighty, good. Looks like it's you, J5.
All right. I am going to try to get a message to Alex, and I want to do it in such a way that I want to send basically like 20, 30, 50, 100, however many messages in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So just sort of bombard her message system.
Okay.
So that, I mean, obviously the AI is going to be able to keep up, but I want to make it difficult so that maybe one will slip through.
Sure, that sounds good. Go ahead and roll forceful or clever.
Hoping for clever so that I can use my stunt.
Yeah, do it.
All right. Let's see what we got here.
Big money.
All right, that's cool. We got a 4.
That is pretty good. So the reason I'm rolling sneaky for Dis is he's trying like hell to not have Alice know that he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's using that approach.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's Alice. I wrote Alice, not Dis. Hold on.
I was really hoping right there.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, no.
Even better.
Even
That was
better.
delightful.
I'm going to use my very last fate point.
For a reroll.
Yes.
Nice. Dick move, but nice. I would do the same thing.
Yeah, right. Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Come on, big money, Dis. Big money. Bigger money. Where's my 5s and 6s? I was doing so well. You still succeed by 1. So what's your
I
message?
was at 6.
Oh, you succeed by 3. So you succeed with style. So what are you trying to get across to her? What's your intent?
Basically, I'm going to say you're compromised. There's an AI piggybacking you and dropping viruses all over this server. You need to disconnect right now.
I just realized I have a disrupted network free invoke floating.
Yeah, you totally do. I'm also going to use my prepared hacking device to counter it.
Yes.
Oh, good. All right, it's on. All right.
I love how dramatic the bidding war can get.
Yeah, me too. All right. Nice. Cool. Okay, so you succeed with style, and you're telling her to get done. She
may not believe me because I don't think she actually likes me, but
I want to send her little up arrows, like this.
look. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, nice.
I'm gonna give her. All right, so I'm gonna look at her aspects real quick.
Perfect, Sebastian. That was funny.
Okay, so her trouble is I have something Dis Pater wants. So it makes perfect sense to me that once she thinks an AI is piggybacking her, that she panics. So she will totally, she just immediately dumps out of the system.
Damn.
Cool.
Yep. So,
But the AI is still there. Boo.
Yeah. Right. But remember, the AI can't see you guys. Like, he's never been able to directly affect you guys. He's never been able to directly mess with you. He can mess with stuff around you, but has never been able to directly affect you.
Right.
Okay, so that's the end of that turn order. J5, who goes next?
I'm going to be selfish and go for me because I need to figure out. I want to sort of examine what damage this AI is going to do to the systems. A, that's one thing I want to look for. B, I want to figure out if there's a way that the AI will discover the backdoor we put in, and then, subsequently will that backdoor lead in, give it a doorway into our system.
Smart.
And if that's the case, then I need to burn it, and then it scrubs the whole mission. But whatever.
Yeah. So give me a priority one. What's the one thing you're doing right now?
Priority one is backdoor integrity. I know it's a phrasing issue there, but yeah, make sure we can't be discovered.
Okay.
Or
yeah.
figure out if it can get into our system through that backdoor.
Okay. So I think you would just. So your best guess, just based on what you know about how computers work with the magic science of James Tech, that you think you're good. Like the way you set up the back door, it's a place where you can punch in a code and get access, and it will open for you. But it's not like an open conduit to your stuff.
Okay. Good.
It's it's a secret door. You know where it is. It's not a door that opens onto your base.
Good. That's awesome.
So
perfect.
you're good there. What's your next thing? Because that's not really an action. It's just like what you know.
Try to figure out what dissipator is doing with the viruses he's dropping everywhere.
Okay.
Like, I assume it's just access, and that's kind of what it does all the time. It poops out viruses wherever it walks, but
so you head over there and try and do a clever for me.
yes. Quattro.
Very nice. All right, I'm gonna go. Where is he? There he is.
I'm going to assume that my stunt will not apply because I don't know the AI system.
Correct. Ooh. Okay, so a tie. So you get to know. But the minor cost would be that. It's spy versus spy stuff, but Dispater knows that you know and knows what you're looking at.
Question.
Yeah.
Can I spend a fate point with the aspect of Rogue Corp IT expert?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will
Reviewing
do
code for problems is something you've done a lot.
that. Yep. I'll do that.
Okay.
So that puts
So-
me up by 2.
You succeed. It looks like he is very thoroughly trying to erase all of the data about Project Jeanette and make sure that none of it can ever be recovered. Specifically, it looks like there's a batch of data information from a very complex simulation that ran. That includes some really advanced techniques for controlling the growth rate of clones and the propagation of DNA information through cloned data. That looks, at a glance, super complex, like super. You can also you can tell that a lot of that's the core data that allowed all the rest of the progress in this project to go forward, and this is specifically targeting that and trying to remove it. Like if all of Project Jeanette was a tree, this is the seed that the tree grew from.
Right.
And he's ripping it up by the roots and making sure that nothing will ever grow there again.
Is that something that Alice made off with?
Yes, probably.
Okay, she's our next contact. All right.
Okay. Who goes next, J5?
I'm gonna go ahead and say Jax. Get you the hell out of there.
I will get my meat in the car if it's not already. Is my meat already in the car?
Your meat is in the car. All right, good. Yeah. You are firmly in the car. Everyone is in the car. Sebastian is like, everyone in the car. Everyone's in the car, and is
1,
driving.
2, 3, 4. Good.
Perfect. All right. Looks like the only person of, and Sebastian, you're driving out of town. So Lee, anything you want to do before the server shuts down?
So all that information that the dissipator there is going after is basically it's tainted.
At this point, yeah.
Then I'm gonna take a I'm going to push forward my trying to grab my snatch and grab here of funds.
Okay. All right, go ahead and roll clever. All right, looks like I had a good roll there, so winning by 1. Do you have any fate points you want to burn on it?
Sure.
All right. What aspect do you want to invoke? So, not to make it too easy, but the aspects that you use the free invokes on still exist until they are like overcome by someone. So, prepared hacking device is still an aspect that's in play that you could use, as is
Okay.
smoke and mirrors.
We just don't have the free invokes on it, right?
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
We'll go with the prepared hacking device.
Okay. That gives you 2, which you had 5, which is success. So I'll add another invoke to the. Oh, is it the right screen? That's the right screen. Another invoke to the pay data aspect. Copy and paste. Boom. Okay. And right after you do that, the server reboots. And all the players go back to the screen.
It was so dramatic. I'm tired.
Brutal.
All right. So, you guys are in your van. You are taking off, heading back to.
The Indian food restaurant that's closest, thanks so much.
That
We're
works.
getting drive-through. I'm starving.
All right. Grab some drive-through Indian food. So at this point, it's 10:55. How are people feeling? Do we want to call it, wrap it up?
I leave that up to you guys. I know you all have commitments and things and children and things like that, so I'm willing to keep going, but if you guys want to stop, it's totally okay.
Yeah. I am also good to go because I am excited. I thought that went well and I'm having fun.
Yeah, no,
But-
I'm having a blast. I was up at, 4.
Totally respect that. You want to call it?
It's okay to call it.
Totally okay to call it.
Babe, what do you think? You want to keep going?
Go a little bit longer.
All right, we'll go a little bit longer.
Yes. I love it when she says that.
Won't you stay?
All right.
No, we're done, actually. We got to call it on
No,
account
I
of
ruined
Eric.
it. I'm sorry. Damn it.
All right. So with the little time that we have left, do we want to resolve like the wrap-up rules? Do you want to go through pay data, or do you want to have stuff happen in the world?
Sorry. Tiger Planet said, I'm going to compel Rage to keep playing because it's bound to stop raining sometime.
Oh, I want to know what the really great complication was. Like, which aspect of what happened was the...
It was pretty much all him. He was like, going to compel Jax, the other intruder, realizing they're outnumbered, pings her with some sort of offer to share information.
Nice.
That was just a great call.
Yeah.
And,
I really love, I mean, I hate it, but I really love the audience helping out there.
Yeah. No, it's
You guys
fun.
are too good at your job.
I missed one. I didn't see it go by with all the rolling we were doing. Oh, there's some good ones in there.
Which one did you miss?
The compel for Lee. Maybe the offsite mainframe had their own Christmas party, and there's something that catches her eye in the break room, a secret Santa gift that hasn't been opened in the break room and nobody around. That is brilliant. That is brilliant.
Way too fucking clever.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was awesome. I wish I'd seen that.
What even is this group?
Was that Tiger too?
I don't remember. I should have put a name there. I think it was Tiger Planet.
Yeah. Wow. That's a good one. Tiger, you got to play this game at some point.
Dodge that bullet.
Or person. That's awesome.
Very cool.
Alice noticed that J5, who was a rival of hers back in the day, and see if she decides to let you have the info or not. That's a great one. Like, you guys are killing it.
That one was Misbehave being awesome.
Yeah. Misbehave's other one was can the tools detect a power source they will hit, knocking out some power around the office, which I thought was great, but didn't really fit the trouble of the person who it would have applied to. But that was, again, awesome thought.
Yeah.
And then the whole
We're
complication.
So screwed with viewers this good.
So cool. So cool. Well done, chat. Thanks for making the game better. All right. Okay, super cool.
In the world.
Stuff happens in the world? Let's do that. So let's go to my list. Okay.
Poor Teddy Dow.
Oh,
So
this is
neglected.
enough.
He's so neglected.
He is a little.
Okay, so I'll go past all that stuff.
What do you want, Cat?
Okay, so the first thing on my stuff happens in the world events are some news headlines come through. So as you're driving back, Jax, the programs that you're using to kind of monitor the different news feeds starts spitting out some things of interest. The first one is a story again about Edward Dow, the recently returned to the world of the living child of Vasily Dow, the murdered executive from Icarus Aerospace. It looks like Edward Dow has initiated a sweeping internal investigation at Icarus Aerospace, specifically directed towards some of the construction efforts that are happening in orbit around the planet. Porter Riordan, who is the Icarus executive in charge of the construction in orbit, is pledging complete transparency and cooperation with the investigation as soon as they return from their trip to their inspection trip to Atalanta Gold. I'm going to change your guys' map here for a second. So Porter Riordan, which is one of the people who you suspect is in the association and associated with Icarus and Project Chinvat. Over here. Another news story that comes up says that Nakatomi Telecommunications has expanded the scope of their investigation, citing concerns that the theft of proprietary information in large-scale conspiracy to commit corporate espionage has been occurring. Nakatomi CEO Dejana Alcantar-Volova is calling on other corporate CEOs to join her in making a strong statement of corporate solidarity in defense of intellectual property rights. A spokesperson for Mishima Zaibatsu Biotechnology issued a statement effectively calling Alcantar-Volova's a hypocrite. 5 years after the Mishima arcology incident, Nakatomi continues to block our requests for access to the records to ensure the integrity of Mishima intellectual property. These requests for transparency have been routinely denied. To ask for solidarity in the face of rights infringement while at the same time refusing to be transparent is frankly insulting.
And I'm sorry, what company was that second person from?
Mishima Zaibatsu Biotechnology. I'll put it in the little window there.
Oh, nice. Cool. Thank you.
No problem. Here's the other ones. There's also a text message Jax from Caleb.
Okay.
And just kind of a low key up for a drink sort of thing.
Sure.
All right. So we'll tag that as something you are interested in. Boop. All right. Other things that are happening in the world is Sebastian, you have a phone call from the gentleman you contacted to try and help get young Teddy Dow out of town.
Right.
I don't think we named him before, so I have since named him. And his name is Waldemar Argo.
Okay.
And his call comes through, and he's kind of an older guy. He's been doing whatever the sprawl version of a coyote is thing for a while, and he's got that look of someone who's always traveling sort of in the broken down parts of the city. So he's got like the kind of heavy canvas looking coat, full white beard and mustache, military style cap on his head, and he comes through the call and looks a little bit concerned, and then says, Sebastian, how hot is this kid?
Oh, well, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't know, like,
You have no reason for him to be to believe, James speaking, you have no reason to believe he's super hot. You're not even sure who knows he's alive.
I genuinely have no reason to believe that he's super hot in terms of anyone even knowing he's still breathing.
So Waldemar kind of nods at that and says, well, there's an awful lot of people asking questions about him. There was that weird woman with those walking walls of muscle. They were all over your apartment. And now there's this bike gang that's touring all through the through where I'm at, asking people if they've seen a kid around. They've seen a kid trying to get out of the area. They're the orphans. I don't know if you've heard of them.
The orphans. Have I heard of them?
Yeah. You you did a deal with them in the past. You were undercover as a different identity, and they were a bike gang that you got them access to a black market bike sale. You knew this other, they were selling some really high-end bikes, and they were selling them like they fell off the back of a truck, and you approached the orphans, you got them access. So you're familiar with them in passing, but not super intimately well.
Yes. Yes, I do know this gang of which you speak. Listen, this sounds dangerous, a little hotter than perhaps we're used to. And not that I doubt your abilities, because I certainly don't, but maybe we should just lay low for a while on this one.
Yeah, I can get it done, but I would probably need some help. We would need to get these guys to back off. And once we got them out of my physical space, I could start making plans to move the kid to another safe house, but they're all over me right now. So I'll put it on hold, but when you're ready for me to move forward, that's probably the next thing you need to do for me.
Oh, fantastic. I'll have it sorted quickly.
Okay. And if you can't get them to move on, then getting me some muscle to bust through, that'll do too.
Oh, well, I know just the woman. Yes. All right. Thank you. Please be safe.
All right. And he punches
Biker gun. Oh, my God.
Okay. All right. So I got one thing more to happen for J5, and one more thing to happen for Lee.
No, I don't want anything to happen to me. I want this to be a boring, boring game.
Incorrect.
So what I'm going to do, I think, because we are kind of pushing late, is I'll introduce the things, and that will kind of be our agenda for next time, is a deal with those 4 things.
Okay.
and then we'll do another mission after that if we have time. And then we'll do the roles for the pay data and for moving forward with getting Sigma a brain, just so that mission is wrapped up, and then we'll call it a night.
Got it.
That sound good?
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right, so J5, you get a call from Kaode, who's the head of security for Clock Tower 5.
Got it. Hey, Caleb, what's up?
Your cop friends are parked outside my joint.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, they've been there for a while. They don't look like they're moving on, and we need them to move on. And I don't mean short term. We need them to not be parked outside of the hub because we can't relocate the hub.
No, you're right. You're right. All right.
So we need my joint to not be on their radar at all. And I need you to handle that for me.
I will handle it for you, sir.
All right. If you need something, Soon's got him dialed in on one of his drones, so he's keeping tabs on them. We know where they are. That other guy who was with him, that heavily modified guy, I don't know what to call him. The other suit. He's not around right now, but those cops are looking hard at us.
All right. I'll take care of it. Thank you for letting me know. I'm sorry it's a problem.
If we're going to grow this to something, we got to not be hot. We're too hot.
That. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All right. And he punches out of the conversation.
Click.
All right. So the last one is Lee, and this one may not lead to something you have to deal with, Lee, but it's something that's happening in the world. You get a query from another artist, not Sin, but another street artist. Let's give them a name. What do you want to call this artist? What's a cool slang term for an artist? Or slang name for an artist? Actually, you know what? I'm going to make it Kova. So the that artist that you kind of ran into and saved from Pascal is putting messages in some of the review Dropbox things that are around for some of your work. And it's pretty clear that she's trying to get in touch with you. And the content of the message is basically like a query, like, hey, this just happened. And there's like a clip of a installation that just happened somewhere. And it's, do you think this was Lee? And when you look at the installation, it's a sensorium recording of someone who was walking through an area at the outskirts of the sprawl in one of the districts that's been kind of fallen into disrepair. And that person walking, their AR fitzes for a minute and goes fuzzy. And then they start experiencing a sense of detachment from their own body. It's an AR stimulation of their exocortex to make them feel like they're sort of depersonalizing a little bit, and they're like aware of their body as being present and moving, but not under their control. But they are under their control. It's a hallucination of feeling like their body's not under their control. And from their point of view, they look around, and other people who are walking through that area are clearly experiencing something similar. Like they're looking at each other and looking at their own hands, like they're not really attached to their bodies. And then they look up, and they're in AR. This stream of poison starts to rain from the sky. It's black and ichor-ish, and it's flowing directly from the sky down onto the crown of their heads and is filling their bodies with this like poison, and it's infecting their ARs. And they can't see it coming on their own heads, but they can see these like drips of poison falling into everybody. And then they're like, you can kind of feel the person who you're kind of riding the sensorium of gets scared and starts to like panic a little bit. And then in the middle of the people who that's happening, a flower starts to grow from the ground, and it looks like a lotus. And the lotus opens and grows until it's catching all of that poison. And as the lotus is catching the poison, that feeling flees from those people, and they kind of come to their senses. And the lotus opens up, so it's like towering over them and catching all of the poison. And then all of their ARs crash, and they're like looking at the world totally like the world really is. And then the installation ends, and the lotus goes away, and the poison goes away.
What is deep? Hey, did you do that? Was that you?
It was not me.
Oh, okay. I thought it might be because it was amazing.
But I'm gonna go figure out who it was.
Cool. All right. So those were the 4 things that happened in the world. We've got a dinner date with Caleb, or meeting with Caleb. We've got a bunch of bikers that might have to be dealt with for Waldemar. We've got a couple of cops who need to be taken care of in some way. And we have a mysterious art installation. Boop.
Okay.
Next time on Fate of the Exocortex. So for now, what we're going to do is try and forward a couple of the counters on your projects. So that sounds like the primary project was bringing Sigma back. And in the sort of the aftermath here, you're sorting through some of the data that you got.
Do you want to switch it back to that screen?
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, that's fine. I did it on my screen. I forgot that I have to drag the players over with me. All right. Let me review this part real quick here. Okay. Okay. So what little information you got, Jax, from Project Jeanette indicates that that their project to force grow clones has failed, that they cannot grow interchangeable body parts for replacement, and that they have aborted all of the facilities that were experimenting on it. There's some notes on the process, but all that, like the notes on the process and the technical data, you don't have. But from what you did get, that's what you're kind of figuring out, is that Project Jeanette was almost a complete failure. From Joni Avison's mainframe, however, you find that the data in the Project Jeanette files is falsified, that they can force grow clones, they can effectively clone interchangeable parts and bodies, and that they have a facility that can do that. That facility is on paper, has been abandoned and emptied out, but is still in operation. And you have an address for that facility. And the information on the mainframe indicates that that would be a place where you could force grow, say, a brain for someone.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's fantastic news. Progress.
Yeah. So what I'm going to have you guys do is I'm going to have you roll to advance that clock, bring Sigma back. And if you can complete it, then when you get access to that facility, you'll have all the pieces you need. If you can't complete it, then you'll get one more piece, but there'll be another wrinkle or complication along the way. So the difficulty is going to be 4, and you can roll whatever approach makes sense. Probably clever to continue to piece it out.
Do we all roll it, or one of us?
One of you can roll it.
Who's the most clever?
Pretty clever.
I've got a 3.
I've got a 2. Ooh. I think you just volunteered me.
All right.
Okay.
Do it to it.
Now I assume this is like an what? Oh, never mind. You're good. I was gonna make some suggestions. I don't need to say anything. We're good.
Nope. She's got that.
What even?
Yeah. So you succeed with style. Wait, do you succeed with style? You were at.
You said it was a 4, right?
Yeah. So it's not quite with style, but you succeed. So that makes it 1 click. Do you?
Yay!
Can we invoke aspects and stuff?
You totally can, if you wanna.
Like we're all connected.
Do you have a fate point left?
I do.
I do.
I do.
All right. I gotta hit you guys harder then. You guys still have fate points left? Come on.
It's
All
all
right.
the goddamn compels, dude.
We
Yeah.
barely filled that van with meat, okay?
All right. So yes, one of you can invoke We Are All Connected
I'll do
and push that over the top.
Done.
Perfect. So that's 2 clicks. That fills that. So once you complete the next mission to that location, you'll have everything needed to bring Sigma back.
Take a look at that brain.
So your for secondary progress, you can pick one of your side projects that makes sense that run advanced. It looks like either decoding the Exocortex or funding anarchy are probably the 2 most likely, but I'd entertain arguments on the other ones.
I put funding anarchy.
Yeah, I
We
think
need people
I
like
agree
Don.
with funding. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
I apologize for talking over you.
So that's going to be a difficulty of 4 because it's a secondary one. So it's 2 clicks plus 2 is 4. And funding anarchy would probably be clever or sneaky.
We're clever. Lee is
Okay.
very
He's
clever.
very clever.
Do it to it.
Go, Lee, go.
I think it's awesome that Lee's the one who's getting stuff done. She's like,
Yeah, it's great.
right after the run, she's like, all right, give me all the info.
It's so cool.
So a 5. So 4. So you succeed. That would advance it by 1. You do have 2 free invokes on pay data that you can bring into play, though.
Well, let's do that.
So succeeding by
You
1.
can
you wanna-
invoke 1 that would make it a 3, so we would succeed with style there, right?
Yep, that does it. Boom, boom. All right, very nice. And you have 1 free invoke on pay data. So we'll leave that as an aspect. And at any point, you have some extra cash kicking around because of all the work that Lee did in the server coming from Leandri. So at any point, you guys want to throw some money at something, let me know. And we'll take care of that.
All right. Cool.
Good. So I think that puts us in a spot. Let me review real quick. There's a few more loose ends that you get from Joni's mainframe. You have see some references to something that they call Project Olympus. It doesn't seem to be a Leandri specific project, and you can't find a lot of details about it. But there's enough there that you know that Avison was very involved in whatever that project is, and that a lot of the funding that should have been going to Project Jeanette was probably being siphoned into Project Olympus. There is enough proof here that you could prove that Avison was falsifying information, and you could prove that Avison was misappropriating funds from Leandri. So you have enough data to prove that. You have some access codes for the R&D site that is still in operation. There's a lot of manifests that indicate there are a lot of materials transferred from other R&D locations to an Icarus facility. That Atlas Security was doing the transportation of that material. You also find a couple of emails about a major data breach that happened to the association. That was on the day that your team had their run and your catastrophic memory loss. The reports indicate that they lost a lot of data, that some of the data that they still have is encrypted and scrambled, and that recovery efforts on that information has been really complicated because Graham Wyrick, who was their Nakatomi guy, has now been kind of cut off. And so Nakatomi, who was the best at decoding that information, isn't involved in the picture anymore. So they're kind of playing catch up, and some of the progress that they made, they lost.
Sounds like whatever hit us hit them as well at the same time.
Us.
I wonder what the connection there is. I also wonder where my accent went again. Just fucking disappeared.
Okay.
God.
We have a lot to think about, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I think that's it for us for tonight.
All right.
Great, thank you. That was
My
a lot
pleasure.
of fun.
Jax, Lee, Sebastian, and James, thank you all very, very much.
You?
I'm going to sign off with you guys now. Thank you. This was an amazing game. I loved it. And I'm absolutely certain that everyone in chat did as well, especially Tiger Planet, that asshole.
Awesome.
No, thank you guys for everything, and I'm going to say goodbye to everyone in the channel. If you have anything you'd like to say, please say it now.
Thanks for all the suggestions. Those were some really neat road bumps.
Yeah, those are
Absolutely.
some great suggestions, guys. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for messing with us.
Yeah.
And thanks for making my job easier. Much appreciated.
All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll talk to you later, and I'm going to say goodbye to everyone else. See ya.
Good night, guys.
Great.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was a blast. I had so much fun. Tiger Planet, you're awesome. Where's my face again? My stupid face. Here it is. thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I love this game. I love the people I play with, and I'm having a real good time making it more interactive. To give credit where credit is due, that was actually James's idea. It wasn't even mine. So, all credit goes to him for that. I'm just glad it's working. It's been a great experience. I'm gonna talk to you guys later. I'll probably stream a little bit tomorrow if you guys want to hang out for a little bit. We'll see you soon. Thank you very much for everything. Good night, everybody. See ya.
You don't know the power of the dark side. The power of the dark side. You don't know the power of the dark side. You don't know the power of the dark side. You don't know the power of the dark side. Don't know the power